a year. Minimum, or nominal fee, so $1 or $10 or something like that.
All right, well, I appreciate it.
Okay, no worries.
They might come to your house. Those cows are loose going down the road. I just got a call from Roberta, well, who is that, you know?
Are they dairy cows?
Huh?
Are they dairy cows?
They don't know. They're the big long one like
I
this.
was gonna say I'll hide it, I'm gonna take it to my barn.
They get all long.
Well, yeah, so
I think she's got 3 big longhorns and
Yeah,
a couple babies or.
that's cool. My
They're pets.
brother has one of those miniature Highlanders named Ferguson, and he's.
people are asking again about.
Big turnout.
It's hilarious. Hey, we got 2 minutes there, Owl.
Actually, it says 7 o'clock on my
Does
computer
it?
right now.
Oh, I'm going by the clock hanging on the schoolhouse.
Oh, hey, I like that better.
You know, Dave, who's been late the last couple of meetings?
Is Bobby coming?
No, well, it's told. Jeff texted me and said no, but he told Jimmy was gonna try, so we'll see who got the last message.
Mine was earlier. He said he was working.
Where did he end up going to work at, John?
Cook sheet metal.
Oh,
That's a new job, so.
So it looks like you got the green light there, John, for the ride along.
Yeah. I just gotta coordinate with Creighton.
It's got a Sigma deposit for $17,543.42 for rent. And we don't have Pilt on our revenue.
Sure, we're gonna be really busy there.
It actually is on one of them.
I know, I have to.
The, one I think D sent out. that
yeah,
had
I
built
saw
on it.
the one.
Yeah, just a, it's favored down. That's
At my door.
here, it's right there, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Jim. Jim, did you notice that on the report? Can you hear me?
Which report?
The profit and loss for April 1st through February 27th.
Okay.
There's no paycheck to John West for zoning.
No, I did not know that.
John, you working for free?
Yes.
Probably feels like it.
Slave waivers.
It's not, the meeting's not started yet, so I can say that.
We were looking, we couldn't find your check either.
Oh, I must be working. I know I'm working for pennies, but I don't know about for free.
Well, I panicked last night because I was like, oh my God, there's not, I'm like, Jim, come help me, try to find your check. I think I stuck it somewhere.
No, but it's not under, so John's not under zoning wages, so I don't know where he would be put.
Is it under planning
I
maybe?
don't know, when I do payroll, I put them under zoning wages, so
police
I don't know
officer.
what QuickBooks did with that.
Yeah, gotta make a spot for that.
Well, I'll go ahead and call the meeting. Scrutinize Dave when he gets here, if he does.
Someone's coming in.
Looks like we don't.
Hey, you gotta always man, all this stuff, some money tonight.
Go ahead and have roll call.
You wanna do the budget first?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Took a nap today, so I'm like really off my game. Not used to sleep. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah.
You gotta save yourself.
There it is. Just in time for roll call.
No, Robin, He's on mandatory overtime today.
I
so,
saw the text, and I was wondering why he didn't respond.
Mhm.
I sent you one too.
A text?
Yeah, oh,
Got no text.
Michelle Jackson,
Here.
Christine Johnson here, Jim LaFew, and David Cost.
Here,
Absent.
That's weird.
Bob Underhill.
Over in the hall there.
that's your stuff.
Yes. Is that gonna be a problem?
No, not at all,
Okay,
especially with background, I was just wondering if this was something for me. So we made our own packets, we printed our own stuff, right?
I don't know.
I have mine on my laptop. Do you want me, is it?
Oh, I
No,
printed
no,
that one. Copy
Yeah,
for
you
you
did.
got it, okay.
And then I got the one that
I see the top
you
one.
gave me that.
Yeah.
And then Jim gave me this one last night.
Let me
And
make
then
a
this
copy
was
from-
the prior one, and then this was the copy from last week, and I have so many copies, that. Anyway, so it's consolidated.
Oops.
One of this.
Boy, we seem organized today, don't we? I'm just gonna make Dave a copy of this one that you made the other day here. I don't know. Pretty good out or not. It's
Oh,
little,
yeah, no, I sent it in email, but I did not print it.
Yeah, for some reason I couldn't print that.
you can print.
I had it, but I didn't.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta open up in my Google Docs or something.
Mine, I'm refusing to print because I'm not going to pay for instant. I'm not gonna do that.
Are you doing the stigma or is she doing the stigma?
As far as any Sigma transfers coming out of there,
Yeah.
I haven't done it as of yet.
There are two deposits, and well, one's
I did
warranted but not paid yet.
Yes, I saw 2 notifications that somebody was.
Yeah, they just keep notifying you, there's something.
No,
So I
that's fine.
printed them, I don't know if you.
I'll get a copy of that. That'll-
One is state revenue, the large one, the smaller one's PILT.
Mhm.
It's our annual PILT.
65 is pill. Yep.
The 17,543 is PILT.
Oh,
Yeah, it says right on there, filled.
Yeah.
State shape revenue.
Gotcha. I'll take copy.
So
Unless, do you
I'll
need
I'll
these?
need a receipt
So I can.
when they get deposited into, yes.
So I can.
Yeah.
We don't do those until we balance the February statement.
Yeah. I'll put it with all of the other stuff. I have to take copies. Especially receipts, but I'm gonna have to bring them with you to use the copier
Hey,
here.
John, yes, sir, how you
I'm
doing?
on
Good.
strike for HP and sticky.
You've got a 24-page profit and loss detail here, and it's listing just about everyone except for you. Your, your wages and.
Yeah, that was just a question brought up.
Dave just asked that on the
Oh.
thing right before he came in.
I-
John
I-
didn't.
I-
I asked you, but I was told
Yeah.
I can't.
Good that somebody knows. So does that mean that our totals are off or somewhere?
Well, you would be only under zoning unless your wages were under planning.
I have no idea.
You get paid.
Okay,
Should be zoning.
It should
well,
be
do
done.
you remember off the top of your head what your W-2 was for 2024?
He wasn't here all of 20.
Well, I know, I know. You were here for about 8 months of it, weren't you?
Correct, yeah,
Okay, so you started like in April?
correct.
Okay, so Lisa was with you, training you, and when did you start on your own?
It was probably May.
That's what I was thinking, because, one of my ordinance violation complaints, both of you came over, and I believe that was in April. And then this, another
Yeah,
4 that I filed, you came over on your own in May. So maybe you should have 8 months for last year and so far this year. right? Okay, yeah, we don't have, none of that's in here.
Do
Apparently
we
you guys.
have anything for Lisa Levy too, up until May?
We
Because
have-
she would be under zoning as well,
No, their contract expired.
so they're.
Wait,
They're in
they'd be
here.
Under contract?
yeah.
The contract expired, but we kept them around for a little while, as I recall.
Yeah.
They're in here under MR consultants.
Yes.
So I think it's only a couple months, Mark, helped you.
Yeah.
So they're
Right.
lumped in
Yeah.
that other contract services?
Oh, Marvin Maciar.
No, that would
Okay.
still be under zoning.
Do you have Jody in
There
there?
was still a contract for
I've seen it.
zoning.
Um,
It was just here, place looks great, doesn't it? Cleaned all the windows, left everything down.
So in 2023 to 2024, the contract was roughly 50,000, and then 2024-25, 11,666. Put on the notepad too. That was something.
So I've talked to T several times today. Yeah. Going over this stuff, and then she even uploaded a spreadsheet.
Her spreadsheet.
Her Excel spreadsheet, which is right here. You wanna make copies of this, maybe?
Okay, let me just take a quick look, I might already have it.
It's their most recent version.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So under the zoning wages, do we pay all those people zoning wages? Who are these people?
Zoning and planning were combined because planning did not have a separate chart of accounts.
Well, it
So,
should, and
these
it
are-
has
These
a,
are
it has a,
These
but
are
it does.
ZBA, planning, and it should be zoning too, but I don't see, you're right, I don't see John on there.
planning is 101.703. And so it does have its separate one. You just, if it needed the wages created, that would be easy enough to do, but I don't understand. So we don't have a definite number for planning and a definite number for zoning. They're two separate things.
Do you think he's being paid out of that zoning contract?
Actually, oh my goodness, I totally like blanked on his name, Tyler separated them, he created a separate planning in my QuickBooks. But he just did that.
Too bad.
So good question, I don't know where John's wages are going.
Is Frank's not gonna be here for Derek? In the fire department or Fred for maintenance?
Nobody parks and rec, nobody.
Okay, cause when you deem the time to be appropriate, I wanna talk about a couple paychecks that Craig got in November of 2024. One under, I mean, would this be okay, or you wanna just let me know when it's the right time?
Yeah.
Are we
if
doing
it's quick-
public comment?
Yeah,
Yeah, if it's quick, go ahead, because we're kind of in the discussion mode today, so I don't know how we can have like a meeting, you know, we have no. Agenda or anything like that, so
okay.
let's just try to keep it as brief as we can.
I'll keep it brief as possible. Okay, so on page 22 of the 24-page profit and loss detail, dated November 13th, Craig got 1,035 under cemetery wages. And then under his regular wages, which would be building and grounds. And that same date, he received a check for $1,541.
$15.
$1,540.
Is it the same check number?
Is it a split?
No, it's not a split.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Oh, it is $275.
Yeah.
It does,
We take his wages out of different departments.
oh, they
so
are the same, okay.
Sometimes it.
Well, we talked about that, Dave. They are it's the same check number.
It's the same check number, but there's two different amounts.
Yeah, they come
One-
from different accounts. I asked the same question on wages for the fire department because they were split
Yeah,
as
if
well.
Working at the fire department, we bill the fire department. If he's working in parks, we bill parks. So if he was working at the cemetery, that's why that came out of cemetery.
Oh, okay, because there's a lot of things that came out of cemetery prior to that, so it's not like it was something that accumulated, you know, like.
My guess is that's probably the burial, maybe. Is that about the time that,
What was that?
the burial where he was out there quite a little bit helping the.
That one that was on
Find,
state?
yes, find
How much was a month?
1,500 or, well, it was $1,000 from cemetery or thereabouts.
What was the date? One day?
November 13th of 2024.
That was done this summer, but that might have been when I think the whole thing, I thought was taken care of this summer.
November will be like fall cleanup maybe or something. That
November
seems a little.
13th, like really, yeah, he'd do a lot of cleanup there with leaves and all that. Yeah, in November, he was doing it then.
Mhm.
So how does a person interpret that? Is it 1541 including the 1,035?
That's what I would say, but actually, if it's got two totals, that's kind of confusing. I agree.
Yes, it is, and it's in two separate categories.
Well, he's curious what the total amount of the check is and what the split is. Like how much is coming out of each account. That's what you're asking, correct? How much is coming from cemetery? How
He's
much-
asking if it's two different checks, one,
No,
no,
It's
Okay,
one check, so what's
One
the
check.
split on the check? 1,500 and then 1,013? Or it's 1,500 and 1,013?
it shows 1,000.
Cemetery.
1,000, give or take, coming out of the cemetery, but then it shows his paycheck as being 1,503, is that what you're?
1541, and it has the same check number for both.
Yeah, that's his paycheck, and 1,000 of that was taken out of
Okay,
cemetery.
that's, I think what he was asking is what the split is. Is it $2,500 or is it $1,500?
what was the date of the check?
The fire department would be a
November
separate check,
13th.
right?
I'm sorry,
The work he does at the fire department would be a separate check out of the fire department, right?
yes. That would probably be maybe the other half of that split. Some of
He
it's gotta
had
be $500.
A total of 45 hours for cemetery on that paycheck.
Okay, and how about the,
45 hours.
how about
In
the
2
one?
weeks.
How about the 1541 amount?
That would be his regular wages for building and grounds on the same paycheck.
So that would put him at what,
So-
about 85 hours or just 45 of his hours came from cemetery?
Being that
45
it was in the fall, he was probably working there a lot doing cleanup of the graves, cleanup of the grounds, and also there was that disinterment
Where they moved.
where he had to help coordinate that.
Okay, so 45 hours at $23 an hour is 1,035. And that's the amount for cemetery on that date?
Does that include overtime?
On that pay period.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I didn't calculate time and a half. But it coincidentally comes out to 1,035.
Same number?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it says on here.
okay, so maybe he didn't charge for overtime?
He had 34, no, 34, he had 1 hour of overtime, so, between his hours, it would have only been, like, for the 2 weeks, it would have only been, I don't know, I would have to look at the
Okay.
paycheck to see.
So
And the time
1541 and 1,035.
I can tell you this, I love your questions.
Mhm.
We have to get this budget done tonight, and we've already spent 20 minutes. We have not even looked at the budget. We have got to get the numbers filled in on this budget tonight. It has to be done and published so the public can see it for 30 days before we start our new fiscal year, and we have to vote on it. So can
Okay, so
we
it's like
look
we'll-
at the questions
We'll
about
revisit the
stuff?
issue.
We
Yeah,
can do that.
Okay, because there's a lot of other things that I've highlighted that I have questions about.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
not to take up the whole meeting, just me with my questions,
Yeah,
okay? So go ahead.
One other thing that we have to do is payroll, or have to, or wages or whatever.
those
That may
don't
be
actually
included.
have to be voted on, those resolutions don't have to be voted on until the appropriations.
Okay, but we still need to
resolution.
know what they are, we still need to
Yeah.
figure out what pay is.
Right,
Signing
and,
these is the easy
you know,
part.
when you look at where we're at as far as income and where we're at as far as expense, there's no way we can do raises for anybody right now. In fact, I even had put my raise in there, but I'm gonna say, no, I know I can't get a raise either.
I am glad to hear that.
Well,
100%.
I
I'm
mean-
so glad.
I deserve it,
Thank
yeah, but so does everybody else that's been working.
Well, you would have to do like a cost of living allowance in.
Well, that's
Probably
what,
have to do
that's
it
what it
across.
was.
You would have to do it across the board.
Everybody already did, that's what I'm saying. In 2023, everybody across the board got an 8.7% cost of living increase, and I refused it. So I left my salary at what it was
What did you say it was?
20,
8.7%.
I don't remember that at all.
You got it.
My check didn't go very much.
Yeah, it did. Because you kept saying, are you sure that's right? My check shouldn't be that big. It's never been that big.
Yeah, because at an 8.6 or 8.7, it would be an additional $145 a month.
let me ask you guys, this, okay, seeing how that is kind of an important part of our budget, do you want to start with the wage issue?
I would like to start with, I think that township employees, I would like to know, I guess, did they also receive a cost of living
Yes.
raise?
Yeah.
And so they're,
Every year they. last
so our
board-
deputies make $19.57 an hour, 57.
Currently, yes,
Yes, based on 20 hours a week, correct?
correct.
So, okay,
I have another idea too, and I'm just gonna throw it out here, we're kind of in a
Perfect.
hodgepodge mode here, so.
that's perfect.
What do you think about a small raise, maybe $2 for Craig, but cap his hours at 40? Do not let him get any
Absolutely.
overtime. period.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
He is well deserving of that.
Okay. Seeing we don't have an agenda, that's the first problem I have. I'm confused at why we don't have an agenda.
It's just budget. That's
Okay.
the only item on the agenda.
Alright, so, but public input, you know, I don't wanna sit here, I know you guys, you know, spend a lot of time and energy in doing this. We just said that we don't have the money for raises, and then you just recommend that the maintenance man get a raise. I'm confused what the maintenance man does. Did we ever have those meetings where his job description was defined?
We provided a proposed job, I provided a proposed job description for,
You proposed,
yes.
so have we
And I
adopted
gave
that?
it to everybody.
Have we adopted that?
It has not been adopted,
No.
job descriptions are right
That's
here.
problem one. Problem two is, I looked at him a little bit. I'm confused what he does. I'm confused for what he does. What's his job? I'm sure he's confused.
Mhm.
He doesn't have a job description. I don't wanna look at him hard.
He does have a job description. He has the job description that was given to him by the previous board.
Okay, and we were gonna write another one, or this board said that's one of the first things we're gonna do, because here we're proposing now not to go over 40 hours. If he's he's not a maintenance guy, let's get that straight. I'm not sure, he does not do maintenance.
He does grounds maintenance and building maintenance
What's he do for maintenance? We hire painting done, we hire building.
for big projects, yeah.
Yeah,
Little things like, he mops.
mops
gym.
at $23.
Yeah, he repairs
Mops the
little
gym.
things that he can repair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we got a problem here. First off, his reputation, he attacked the old board, Joe Keys. Nothing become of that because of the supervisor.
That's me too.
He attacked Jim LaFew in that meeting. He was wrong. He has said things about Christine. He's absolutely lied about me when I was chief. And we proved this, and nothing become out of that. And now we're looking at promoting him again. I don't think there should be any promotion of him. He's lucky to have a job.
And if I took it on, I would track him. You know, at the meeting, that unofficial meeting, he said, somebody said, you said, well, I can follow you to see what you're doing every day. And he says, I would expect you to do that. Well, we used to have body cams. What's he do? What did he do all week? I'm not sure. But I got this idea. I don't want to sit here at 8 o'clock and call him, write down the time and see what his pay stubs say and match. But I think we got a problem here. We took this job on her, you guys did. God bless you for doing that. But one of the first things we were gonna do is write a job description for this guy, and we didn't. And now we're giving him a raise already. I don't see it.
He hasn't had a raise since he's been here, number one, okay?
Mhm.
I agree with you that he's not the swiftest moving individual in that, but there are qualities there. I think he's trustworthy. I don't think he's beating us up. He has opportunities to do that.
I went to the cemetery and watched him day after
And
day.
we talked about it that day, you did.
Yeah. He's misappropriating public funds, period. Period. Don't make me follow him.
Mhm.
He doesn't deserve a raise. He does not, on the record, Jeff West, he does not deserve a raise. And if I have to prove it, I will. I don't want to. I don't want this animosity and turmoil. Thank you for your time.
Very quick.
When I was in there, Dee created a worksheet, a timesheet. I don't know if Christine was in there yet, it was before that. We need to know, and John Bielski and Craig both said, we're not gonna do that. And no one made them do it, okay? It's just like what's going on with Trump and all the money that's going on. What did he do yesterday, the day before, when there was no snow
He
plowing?
has a very detailed
Okay,
timesheet for every day and for every area that he works in.
I
Okay,
provided his timesheet is attached to his proposed
Mhm.
job description and with his job description that he has. It has his timesheet, and I don't
I'm
know
just,
if I agree that it's extremely.
you were questioning about the cemetery, if you'd written that down. Okay, I was at the cemetery, it was there 4 hours for a burial, 5 hours for picking up, that kind of detail. So where, when,
Yeah.
and how long? And what did you do, because when I came in 20, we had, and we're having it right now. We had no snow from February 14th until mowing time. My question then was, what does our maintenance do all that month? There's no mowing and there's no plowing. What are they doing all that time?
Mhm.
We had a boardwalk that had to be fixed. Didn't get fixed. The board hired Christy Nemick's husband to do it for $1,000. This is the kind of thing. Right now, if he hasn't,
Are you
I
going,
just-
excuse me, are you going back to the time when Bielski was here too?
oh, yeah.
Okay.
We didn't know, there's a lot of stuff we didn't know on that, because we weren't allowed, I wasn't allowed to watch them, I got chewed up by backers. But no, there was, yeah,
We had two maintenance people,
huh, yeah,
and we have one.
we wanted to hire 2 part-times and somehow,
Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's ancient.
yeah, it
Is
is.
that what you're gonna say?
It is past and it's also off subject. We've got to get to,
Okay, Jim and I had a conversation with Craig. It was on a Friday and it was about an hour, right?
Give or take, yeah.
Well, you came in about halfway through, so maybe half hour for you. All right, so I think that's why you and I are in agreement to giving him a $2 an hour raise.
Well, and again, like I said, I don't know that he's the swiftest person out there. I think if he was asked to do stuff, he would, he does what he's asked to do. He's not gonna go out and find projects and things like that. We need to provide him more guidance.
Not unless you're traveling all the parks, you don't know what needs to be done.
Okay, so.
Let
do
me-
we have
can
time
I-
to- Do we have time to talk about why he should get that raise or do we not?
Can I
Well-
add something?
But
How often have I gone into the office and Craig's just sitting there talking to Margaret or Angie when she was there
yes, I agree.
at $23
he
an hour?
does work with them on, ordering supplies and he works with them on reports. So there are times when he does need to be in there talking with them.
Yeah, well, he was there last Friday, the 14th, talking to Margaret, and she wasn't even working on the clock, and he was up there chatting away with her. So it was probably a good hour that he was there. You know, for $23 an hour to sweep a floor in the mornings, the gym floor, and then he gets overtime that week. So you're paying him time and a half basically to sweep a gym floor. You know, I mean, I have a bachelor's degree and I'm getting paid $19.57 and all the work I've done for the township. So I don't know, you know.
Well, you know, it's like you can, just about anyone, you can make a list of things you don't like about them or whatnot. We're not all perfect.
It's not a dislike for him.
Okay, but here's the other side of it. I mean, I see the guy plowing snow all the time, or with the snow blower. I see him in the access sites raking in the summer, in 90-degree heat and whatnot. He's out in the frigid cold working. He's hooking up trailers and unhooking them, working with the John Deere tractor. The snow plow, there's things that he can get hurt, okay? It's my understanding,
And
yeah.
it wasn't blowing weeds back into somebody's yard. He didn't get hurt doing that. He also should be respectful of the people that live in the town.
Oh, most definitely, yes. So we can, but the thing is, if he were to be gone, well, first of all, we don't have two maintenance people. We have one.
Yes.
Okay, there's a savings there, all right? So his attendance, I was asking Christine about this in the office earlier today. As far as you know, Christine, he's probably got excellent attendance or?
When I come in at 7 in the morning, he's in there mopping the floor.
Okay, so does he change the oil on things? He hooks up hydraulic lines and disconnects them, he does, I mean, he's doing things where he's not getting hurt. While he's managing equipment and moving stuff, okay? He shows up to work. I see him working all the time, it's good to hear other perspective that he's not, or he's sitting
What
in
he
the
does
office.
is good.
Or he's hanging out at the cemetery, you know, milking it. I've heard that. Okay, but the thing is, when you take everything into consideration, I mean, you know how we would really find out how valuable Craig is if he was gone today.
We've been through that, we've
He
experienced.
was
that.
gone for about a month, and before that, our maintenance was gone for 5 months. And I did the maintenance for Joe Keys. Joe Keys worked 40 hours and came over, did all the mowing at night after working.
Okay,
So we
so
know.
do we think that we can find someone to do this job better than Craig at $23 an hour? Attendance and everything, health and everything taken into consideration.
I don't know that we're looking for a new maintenance guy.
I know, but I'm just trying to justify, we're not gonna find anyone perfect.
Mhm.
Okay, Craig isn't perfect, all right,
Agreed.
but he's far from being, you know, really bad.
Mhm.
I mean, for what he does,
More guidance, no overtime, and better accountability, I think that.
I would
It's
say
not
less
a
hours so that
guarantee
his
it's 40
time.
hours a week.
I would say less hours, and originally he had 35 hours, right? So
Yeah.
overtime.
The township our size, does it justify a full-time maintenance man that doesn't do maintenance? Alright, that's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
Do we need that full-time position? We were talking, what, 45,000 a year?
Oh.
That's it. Is it
More than-
give or take, but
Mhm.
that's the first thing that this board needs to look at. Are we getting, we don't have money. Are we getting what we're paying for? And it's nothing, there's no personal side of this. Are we getting what it's paid for, is all I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
It's-
I know Bob has expressed some interest in taking over, kind of being a semi-maintenance managed person to keep him, you know, moving forward and finding these projects that he should be doing,
but he wants to get paid.
but he wants to get paid, so
Okay.
we're gonna, you know,
Is it, or could it be a part-time position? And just these things
I
have to
think
be
there are
thought out.
times when that certainly could be the
And
case.
there is no way that he should ever be paid overtime. I understand that, and I'm glad you brought that up. That should never be an issue.
Very quickly, Jeff.
Very quickly, I was on the last 2 committees to hire maintenance men, both committees, 5 people, hours and hours and hours of meeting, came up with the answer. 2 maintenance men, 2 part-timers, you always gotta fill in. One's sick, you still got a guy emptying the garbage. You define one's a little bit superior to the other. They took that and put $100,000 worth of bills to it. It was wrong, the last board. 100 grand we're paying for maintenance, absolutely bizarre.
Yeah,
After
that's why we're in the
2
shape we're in.
The 2, that's right, now we're in a situation where he's not maintenance, we're still not doing maintenance, we're doing groundskeeping, generally speaking. So at this point, 2 part-time, never full-time at this point, do what the committees suggested to do. One senior than the other, and pretty soon you'll have one shining over the other, and one can go to the wayside if need be, but hopefully they'll both succeed. 2 part-timers, and then it's gotta be clearly defined. Form a committee if this board can't do it, and I know that you guys are absolutely left with just a bad scenario. But it's gotta be corrected. Form a committee to get a grip on the quote maintenance plan. We don't have one. We're doing the same thing Dave Grimm did for 12 years. Nothing proactive. It was all reactive. And when you're reactive, we're getting behind. We're the decks, we're getting behind the painting, we're going
That's
backwards on
nothing new
maintenance.
out there, I mean,
That's right. So we have to look at this, form a committee to find out how to do a maintenance plan. Because I'm baffled. I know the maintenance man from Milton Township. I know what he gets paid now. One guy mows everything and does a ton of work, Jim. Gotta bring him in, get enlightened.
He's got salary.
Yeah, flat rate, get it done. And we gotta look at a different program. We've been screwed over by the last 2, and Craig was in part of that, and he's done wrong. He's lucky to have a job right now. Because if I would have been supervisor, or anybody knows the truth about what he said about Jim and what he said about prior board members, you can open the MTA book and read in there. He can't do it over and over and over. And he's still doing stuff that's wrong. And you still haven't got to the bottom of the Bielski case. If you guys ever want the truth, Colton West will come and talk to the board. And you're gonna get to the bottom of that. He does not deserve a raise. Thank you.
Well, here is a valid question. So I was provided a copy of his job description. I took a copy of his time card that he filled out, proposed job description. Has Craig ever had reviews? Has anybody ever?
He
said no?
requested that from the last board, but we didn't have time to get it done before the election.
So he's had no reviews, he's had no.
well, maybe that's a
constructive
good place to start right there.
Criticism, he definitely needs somebody to oversee him, so. No overtime, but is he guaranteed 40 hours a week? So we could say, okay, we could do a raise, I mean, especially now, we do have snow coming in, so plows coming, so are we able to, while things are not quite as busy, be able to cut back on the hours, and then when things are busier, but no overtime, but you have to bear in mind too, if he runs an hour or 2 hours over,
And it happens
according to the
sometimes.
board of labor, we have to pay him time and a half, so maybe looking at, well, maybe we should make it a 36 hours, not a guaranteed 40, no
It was
overtime.
35.
It was
And 5 was
35.
banked for weekends.
So
If we had to do snow removal on the
I think that is a good option to look at, but we should definitely be, reviews, whoever is overseeing him
Mhm.
should sit down and have reviews. He should have had a 30-day, should have had a 60-day, should have had a 90-day, he should have had an annual. He should have a review before he is awarded a raise. Now, with that said, $25 seems like a lot, but I mean, things in this world are a lot more expensive. $25 isn't very much in consideration of what we pay out, but are we getting what we're paying for? And I think that is a very valid question.
I don't-
So with that, I'm going to remove myself from, voting either way on him getting a raise or not getting a raise, because I think that, I don't know enough, to make that type of thing.
Can I mention the review that we got? I filled it out, Christine. Tom never asked for anything. And I went down there and it says, how clean is the truck? Did he go? The management of the truck. I don't know that. I can tell you anything
Something
about
that Tom
parts,
pulled
but
off the
who
internet.
does the review?
Hmm.
My biggest thing with the old board, when I first came in, and I said, you all board members go through all the parts, because I saw.
Mhm.
I go through all the parts, I couldn't even to do it, so I looked at pictures. I had 1,200 and some pictures that I emailed to the board. And I said, this is what we're dealing with. And it wasn't long after that, the maintenance guy
Mhm.
You're responsible to the
Sub
township.
out the grass cut, sub out the plowing, you'll be better off by far. You've been through this so many times, so many years.
I've got a question on the property loss, since we're on this subject, at page 20. It's where Craig's wages are, so page 18 and 19, starts at the bottom of 18. It's mixed in with Jody McGee, so I got 1725.97 for Jody and 40,416.75 for Craig, and that's over the 11-month period between April 1st and today.
Mhm.
Okay, so that comes out to like, I just had it here, 3674 per month. Okay, but the question is, when I started out the meeting asking about that cemetery work, and I discovered, I mean, you informed me that it's the same pay stub or the same check number. How much of this that's listed under cemetery wages is gonna be the same thing? So in other words, we got $4,864 for Craig under cemetery wages.
For the year.
Already one of those currently is the same check, or I don't know how that, I still don't understand how that worked out. So does that mean he got 45,000 or whatever the two?
Do you have his year to date on his last pay stub on your laptop?
Not in there, hold on.
If there's any way to do that, the year to date, we'll say what he made year to date. And those checks that are cut, those are net, those are not gross.
No,
Those
year
are
to date will
out
just be
checks.
January. It's not gonna show you anything.
Is there any way to table the wages right now and just get through the budget and maybe give him a raise later? If that's what you guys decide?
That's good.
Obviously, you need more information and
Well,
our
wages
budget is
are
over
pretty
budget.
important For the budget, so if we're, not gonna do any wage changes, that's how we could do that, I suppose.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
no
because we
wage.
need to get through the budget and I think there's a lot of questions here and concerns. So I think it should wait and let's get through the budget.
So what do we budget for maintenance wages?
Do what he has down here for 45,000 or something. What he had last year. Or what he has year to date and then,
Well, that includes a bunch of overtime and,
yeah, I mean, at least you'll be over budget if you keep it and, you'll have enough there, but I think this is something to revisit because we got to get through the budget and I think there's more information that needs to be had. I mean,
well, I'm all for the review. I'm for a new way to monitor his
Then you know where you're
time
spending.
sheets and, we need possibly someone giving him directions. But, and I'll just say this again, okay? And irregardless of the fact of who was running the last board and different things like that, he hasn't had a raise in 2 years. If we don't like the guy well that good and we kept him around for 2 years.
Maybe he would like to be cut back hours at his age and then give him the raise. He might.
ouch.
Down 15 minutes, it was no. Why would you wanna cut that?
I just don't know what he's doing in the time.
I've seen him do it.
Hey, 20
John fixed his own life.
Yeah.
There's things like that.
Yeah, and I agree, he's not the best maintenance guy, I mean, as far as working and stuff, that doesn't
So
happen.
he can mow and stuff he can do, but what's he doing in the times when there's no mower plowing?
So.
Well, how much does maintenance get paid normally, I mean, what's the going rate for a maintenance guy that does all the mechanical and all the construction on his own, like you guys are saying, is it $30-$35 an hour? What's it comparable? I mean, Craig, does he have any schooling or any background where $23 an hour is he going to go get a job tomorrow at $23 an hour somewhere else?
That's what he was hired in at. I didn't have anything to do with that, but again, if you're at a job for 2 years and. They're not coming after you and saying you're not doing a good job, well, then I think there's some. point in there where you have to decide, okay, we're gonna keep this guy, give him a raise, we want him here, or we don't.
Raise what, 2 years ago when John left?
It's
But
been 2
you're a
years.
new board, Joe, I mean, that's your opportunity to review it, I think that's a valid point, review it.
Sure.
You can make your decision based on that.
You know, okay,
What-
so we're not gonna make or break this budget based on that subject alone, I'm looking at so many continental women. And,
Yeah.
and our, utilities
Those are
and
the
garbage,
too.
Yeah.
we're paying for a dumpster. I understand Craig goes around to the access sites in the summer.
That's
picks up all the garbage.
overflowing in the summer, yeah.
Yeah, he picks it up, brings it to, and puts it in the dumpsters, right? But
It's never full.
from November to June, right? We don't, that's not happening. Maybe starting in May, June, a little bit, gets crazy in July,
Mhm.
but, are we paying for this dumpster 12 months, at the, what is it, 151 or something?
151 month.
When, I mean,
It's cheap.
just doing it for, I know it's cheap, but why the hell pay for it during the months that we don't need it?
Because you can't. I've dug into this already extensively. You can't reduce the size. By the time you take delivery, pickup fees, they got you. That's a Canada company that owns that now. You cannot change that can. You go to a smaller one and think 3 months, 6 months from now, you change it back. Nope, I got an 8-yard can sitting in my place. It's empty, half the winter. And it's still cost effective to leave it by the time pickup and delivery fees. They got you.
Okay, so assuming that's true. There's so many other areas where we can save money, and it doesn't involve an employee.
Good question for you. What is involved in Continental Linen? What are we paying?
Rugs,
That we're paying for
mop
us,
heads.
Mop heads,
Mop heads.
uniforms.
rugs?
And the rugs and uniforms, I think.
In uniforms, we
Yeah.
pay for uniforms.
Which Craig is not necessarily too keen on the uniform either, he would just let that go.
Something Tom threw in there. Now, we do need more rugs in the wintertime than we do in the summertime to protect that floor. I ordered extra for wintertime, and then I guess, I don't know if they keep doing it summertime too, I don't know.
So, would you be, if you put in your computer Continental Linen, does everything come up? Because it's all over the place on this detail. I gotta look at some of the different categories and then add them all up. It takes a long time to do that.
The total for linen,
Are you still with us?
I was working
Yeah.
on social security and Medicare.
Okay, so. If you did an Excel spreadsheet, you would need to get into Christine's computer and you could work with her or be in the office with her, maybe the three of you, Michelle and Christine. Can get this to an Excel spreadsheet like you recommended earlier today when we were talking?
Well, it's
And-
just a matter of making the new accounts, adding the 0.01, which Christine knows about in that account number, the GL number, and separating those. And it would literally take 20 minutes to do that off that
That would be
report in
wonderful.
QuickBooks.
That would be wonderful if the three of you would get together or whatever it takes to get that done. Because.
Christine should know how to do it.
Pardon me?
Christine should know how to do it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna leave that between you, the three of you. However it gets done, I really don't care. But it's kind of discouraging when I spend time on this, and then I come to a meeting and it's like, we gotta hurry up, we gotta get this done, and we just don't have the time to do it right. To do what needs to be done. And
Well, you're not allowed to have the discussions outside of the meeting, so.
outside of the meeting, we can meet or talk about it, so. But,
But this is something we talked about months ago, getting prepared in advance. And here it is, it's the day of the meeting and I'm just getting stuff and. I'm not trying to
The
target,
thing is
I'm
that
not targeting,
we can't fix all the issues and create a budget.
I understand that.
We have to create the budget and then work on fixing the issues.
So when I look at this general fund budget, so the biggest overspending had to do with maintenance wages, had to do with
Centaur,
Centerra's other fees, but I see them all under building and grounds. We spent $180,000.
Isn't that crazy?
That's a lot of money.
Wait, oh, that was in 23, yeah.
Yeah, we were,
Well, there were a lot of things that got fixed during that time, a lot of new equipment that got purchased by our maintenance supervisor at that time, a lot of extra gas that got purchased at that time. Yeah, so, I mean, $45,000 in new equipment,
So
and
we're
that
down,
equipment is,
Tractor,
and
yeah.
so we're
Truck.
down, for 24, 25, we're down almost $100,000.
Yeah.
But under the treasurer control where it has the deputy wage, 2024, 2025, she did not make that amount of money.
no,
but that's what was budgeted,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
So that was what was budgeted in 2024, but
Yeah.
when I look at this book that I got from Jim, it shows that we were over budget by $4,000.
But not in her wages.
No, but in the treasurer's, what exactly?
It's the total of the treasurer.
$4,260, because in here it says 38,260 was the amount.
Again, you're going back to let's
And this
fix
is a
something from the
proposed.
past and.
Well, I'm just trying to get a grasp because I'd like to know where we're gonna have a proposed budget. So this is saying the expenditures were actually 38,260. This is showing the budget at 43,000, but then this auditor report shows that we were over budget $4,250. So that, I mean, it's just a question, where is the 4260, so that when I look at a realistic budget where I know our expenditures are going, it's just a valid question. It's not like, let's fix it. Because we have an auditor's report that states that we went over budget by $4,260.
First of all, you can't do a budget based off a budget. You have to do a budget based off of actual expenses. So us looking at the last 2 years of expenses should have happened way back in November when if we could have got the reports. Now we get the reports and we're looking at them, we're comparing them, and we have questions. But yet we're supposed to be pushed through
that
them.
were already on the budget sheet that I gave out.
No, those were a mess. We did not have.
From 2023, 24.
We did not have. Yeah,
These numbers
we did
are
not have the
wrong.
work that we have right now.
the board got it, I got it.
Yeah, everybody got it.
Well, this is what I got initially, and
That's
then
the
this
first-
is the,
Mhm.
this is
And that
that
is that
updated
is
one.
2023, 24 is the actual, that's what we spent that year in those categories. 2024, 25, we're still in that fiscal year. So what you have are the numbers that were budgeted for those cost centers. And then 2025, 26 is what we're looking at for proposed for next year.
But you keep saying you can't go backwards, but you have to go backwards to look at the numbers to move forward with a budget.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's what they're doing, is they're picking that apart so they
teach you
can,
How to make the budget is to go back 2 years.
okay, that's what we're trying to do. And you keep saying we need to move forward. We can't keep looking backwards. Well, we're trying to move forward.
What? We're not even looking at the budget. We're still asking questions about stuff.
About the expenses from the last 2 years, because we have to understand the expenses to create a budget.
It's all on the worksheet.
Okay, but you guys can't have a meeting outside of budget meetings. And you've had 4 budget meetings where you've attended 2. And we're looking at these reports now and we're trying to understand what the expenses are so we can create a budget that actually balances instead of trying to balance on an old budget that wasn't balanced.
You are not gonna make a perfect budget.
We're not trying to.
We have an hour to finish this.
Well, yeah, because we've had 4 meetings and they really haven't been overly productive. But now we have this stuff in front of us and they have questions. And your board, you can't get together and talk. This is the only time you can discuss it. So to tell people when they have a question and when they're asking questions about the expenses, to tell them why are we looking backwards is kind of, non-productive. They're trying to figure out what the expenses were so the budget can move forward.
I totally understand that.
Okay, because you've said it a few times now. Why do we keep going backwards?
I keep saying we need to look at the projection because we have the information in front of us. We can't keep trying to answer questions.
Why would you budget?
we are going to look at the questions. In the future, we're going to look back and we're going to try to fix the things, but right now, we have an hour to put the numbers in here to try to make this a balanced budget, because we're over budget and we can't finish it unless we go through it line by line and get it done.
Well, we're asking questions.
Is there any way
line
you
by
can
line.
do Saturday so Bob could be here?
So do we take the contract amount for, I don't know, other contract services at 102,000 from April 23 to 24, or do we take the 72,000 from April 1st, 24 to February 25? Are you just going to take that whole and put it in the budget as 100-some thousand without
we
looking
look
at
at
it and saying,
both
you know
of
what,
them.
this was overspending?
I think we look at both of them.
Well, yeah, but they're both overspending. So that's the questions that are being answered or asked about the Continental linens and about all the stuff that keeps getting pushed through. They're asking, why are we spending this money? Do we want to really budget $100,000 for contract services? Is it necessary?
Good point.
You just want to throw numbers in there on a budget so you can get it done because it's the 11th hour.
And then amend it when we have time to look at it.
Well, that sounds like the previous board.
Previous board never made an amendment, B.
Yeah, no, I'm fully
They
aware.
didn't actually make a good budget either.
We don't have the ARPA fund to cover us this time.
Well,
Oh, how much is in that ARPA fund? Because we had talked about.
we don't have an ARPA fund.
Well, I know.
It's committed for 2025.
Okay, so,
Committed funds for 2025.
That's the main-
General fund.
yeah, okay, there's none of that. Now, what's in there?
Nothing, it's all committed, that's the whole.
It's all committed. There's no play change with any of that money.
Okay,
In Michigan class,
That was the whole
There-
point of doing,
there
committing
is
it all by
still
December 31st.
$75,000.
So,
In Michigan class, there's $75,000.
And that was originally what was left of the ARPA funds, but now it's committed for 2025. So there's no, even though it's there,
it says
It's
committed
committed.
for 2025, but it had to be spent before December of
Yes.
2024, so I don't know why we named it 2025.
well, we all decided on that
Yeah.
name at
Yeah.
the meeting.
We
Yeah.
did,
and that meeting was in January, wasn't it?
yeah,
Okay,
cause I was bustling around trying to get the thing done, but,
I did look at social security and I see that we had 33,800 in there for this year's budget. But what I looked at is we only had $18,000 in expense, so I cut that down. And then we had 8,000 for Medicare under township board control. And that's only 4,000, so I cut that down as well. So it saved a little bit of money there.
why don't we get all updated on what we've got here? That makes sense, that we're all on the same page where that is. You've all seen this one that I printed up with the 2026 numbers put in here? Or, excuse me, 2025, 2026. D, you don't have a copy of that, so,
She has a copy.
oh, you gave it to her?
Yep.
Okay.
I
good.
have it as a picture.
Okay.
so we're looking at that final page.
Well, you're looking at, yeah, this is just and again, these are not definitive numbers, these are just projections of
Sure.
where we should be.
Yep.
Why don't we start there and, you know, we have about 40,000, and again, our budget isn't gonna be exact numbers, this is a projection of, you know, what we're gonna do, and then we amend it as we go. Okay, so, if you look at the bottom number, 607,000 for the total expenses, that's not that far off from where we're 2023 looks at and 2024, 25. We're approaching that number right now, so I think if we want to keep these numbers in place, we're gonna be over budget again at the same point we're at next year. We're gonna be scrambling again and not have that thing. So these numbers that are in the projection for 2025 are the ones that we need to whittle down to get below that original revenue number in the front there, 566. We can get close to that, we can adopt this budget, and then, you know, we could even form a budget committee if you want, and just work on that and try to find where we're bleeding, because we gotta stop the bleeding. I think, and again, I did kind of like Dave did there, I've gone through and tried to, you know, figure it out. To me, it looks like Centaurus is the number one wound right now that we need to
Yeah.
heal.
That was a bad idea to start with, and also it's irrelevant now, because if we're moving to BSNA, the whole point of that Centaurus server was to save the QuickBooks, to back it up. And we won't need that anymore, because it'll be online.
Well, fortunately, it will back up more than just QuickBooks. We have, you know, the potential to digitize our township, which is one of the things that was a goal when we went to Centaurus in the first place.
Right.
But,
Which we paid the cost for,
I
haven't
think
done
we
yet.
could go line by line.
if we're gonna do that, we're gonna have about a minute per line, so,
Okay,
Alright, so we left we're on
Oh,
expenses.
wait, let's do this first. Was there any corrections in the revenue thing, or is this the good number that we're
The
looking
one
at?
correction that
566?
I have is that there was no PILT in
Okay.
this.
And that you just received, so we could potentially add 17,000 to that?
Yes.
Okay.
D is PILT, typically the same every
Yeah.
year, or is that, yeah?
Yeah, it's within the same. Last year it was 16, this year it's 17, so.
Okay,
And where does that get added?
To our,
There is not a
there's
line
not a
for it.
line for it, but we can just add down here 17,543. Just plus 17,543.
and that will increase our revenue.
And does that include like the reassessment that just went out? To Clearwater Township, the 1.031, where the property was reassessed and it changed. the
Yeah, but that won't affect,
taxable value, it says it affects 2025.
Yeah, generally, you know, taxes do increase, I think, there's no question about that, so yes, but. I feel that that is kind of the buffer that keeps
Well, they
us-
don't decrease.
Yeah. That's kind of the buffer, okay, let's say we budget exactly what we have coming in, well, next year, because of that elevation, we're a little under our budget, so I think that works to our betterment. You know, rather than calculating now what that raise could be on all the properties and adding that to their income.
Well, we couldn't amend it until March 10th and 11th, right, after people go in front of the board.
10th and 11th is the board of review date, yes. Yeah. That'll just affect the whole total. You know, some will go up, I
So
doubt it,
potentially it's a
And I
nice.
think that would
it's a nice.
would affect the tax season,
2025,
yeah, but that would be for the 2026.
2025.
But those funds that come in are for the next year's budget.
My tax bill is going up almost $1,500 and the assessment says for 2025 taxes.
Yeah, it's 2025 taxes, but it goes towards the 2026 budget. The tax disbursements that go
Because they're
to the,
paying, because they're paying in arrears, but they're paying, 1.031. So we can utilize those funds.
but not
if
for this,
need be.
not for this year's budget. That's what I'm saying. That money usually goes, and you try to keep that money for the next year's budget, not. The money that we have in the bank right now is for this coming budget. That's what all just came in from November.
That one,
Started collecting taxes. December, January,
No,
February.
I understand what
that
you're saying.
multiplier, you're talking about, it's only about $3,000 to $5,000 a year that our tax base goes up, so it's not that much. You take $1 million of increased valuation, we get 1,000. So
Not a big number.
Right now, we're at 278, you multiply that by 1.31 or whatever it was. You're gonna get just under $3,000 more, that's all it is.
What happened, it's coming from us, just so you know.
All right, by cutting that, it got us down to 588,193,
By cutting what out.
the social security and the Medicare.
Your MERS is off.
My what?
MERS,
The MERS, because you have some MERS in ask accountant, ask treasurer, ask board versus how much of the expenses we actually had.
We
So
didn't
I,
put MERS on there because we think we can close that account, but
that
we're
would be
not
good.
sure.
Okay,
I don't think anybody is receiving or putting money into that anymore.
yeah. Well, we're paying into it and it's more than what they have down there.
Dee?
I'm sorry, you were underwater.
It's 347 a month.
Yeah, so you'll have to do it that way because you can't do it off the expense report or the profit and loss.
That's because fire department was paying it for a little while.
Well, no, it's because it's under ask accountant and ask treasurer instead of under MERS, because there is a portion of it under MERS itself, under retirement or whatever,
Right.
but there were some that weren't categorized, weren't accounted.
Okay, total revenue, everybody have 584,256?
Yes.
Okay,
What did you have for admin fees? Income, revenue?
27,000,
How much?
27,000. Actually, that's the same as last year's budget.
27,000?
Yeah,
324, 31,800. But the last two have been 27,000, including this one.
The tax administration fee, GL number 101.000.447 is 36,000 last year and up to 41,000 already this year.
The big,
So we can increase it?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to work off my phone and I don't see it in what's it under? What's it named as?
administration fee on revenue.
On your general fund budget?
yes,
Yes,
What the heck? I got the flu, so I'll mark it off I don't see it.
it's under swamp tax.
right on swamp tax.
Oh, wait, you know what? I'm on the wrong flipping page. Sorry.
Revenue, it's like the 8th line down. 7th line.
Are you still not finding it?
I'm trying to look through pictures on my cell phone, so sorry.
No problem.
So you're saying, and. What do you have?
I don't have the revenue one. I don't have the revenue page at all.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't think that was sent to me. I just have expenses.
Same file. Here, I'll make a copy real quick.
Just take a picture of it. Send it text it to me.
I sent it to you.
That's the 3 column, you're not looking at the right one there.
No, this is the old one.
Yep.
I have the 3 column one.
Yeah. The 3 column one should have the, oh. Revenue? You haven't.
I'll take the.
I just sent it to you.
Oh, we all did.
Then I will send it to you.
Thank you. My phone just lit up, but all good.
You're getting the love.
There it is.
Here's something,
Yeah, that can go up.
that can go up, huh?
Yeah, that
So
can go up.
What do you suggest it goes up to?
36.
Well, I have right now, I have 41,000. It's 1%. I mean, we have right now, as of right now, we've collected 41,000 in the property tax administrative fee
Good. Why don't we
for
do
this year.
Okay.
Last year it was $36,087.
So not 27.
Well, that's what
No.
was budgeted. What was-
$36,000.
what was budgeted was 27.
Okay,
So you wanna bump it up to 40, 41?
She's saying we're.
I would do 40. I think that's safe.
if
We're
it's
done
already
with taxes
41,
for the
let's
most
keep
part.
it at 40. So we're gonna add 13,000 to our 584.
So that's an additional $14,000.
Yeah, 597, 256.
13 is what I,
Oh, you,
Because you only went 40 instead of 41.
yeah, just change it to 40.
I mean, we still have a disbursement going out, so,
Yeah.
but we're good.
So we're at 597, 256.
right.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that number is also, that has, Metro and PEG in there as well, which are restricted
Yeah.
funds.
So that is.
Oh,
shouldn't
well,
be
there's
there.
the pen right there.
That's not general fund, right?
Nope.
No, but they have to be budgeted, and that is money that we have in the bank. So like, say we do a project for what, like, we get a new laptop to work just with the owl, that can come out of PEG fund. We
Yep,
do
education.
for, along the roads,
Right.
like you just did
Metro.
Metro.
Right.
It's a general fund expense, but it can come out of that Metro fund money instead of.
But it's a yearly thing though, too. It's not something that ends every year that we're gonna get more.
Mhm.
Right,
So
Once a
there's
year.
stuff that, yeah,
yeah, we just got a PEG deposit for charter franchise fee.
Yeah.
So there's nothing out of that 40,000. The PEG and Metro has nothing to do with the 40,000 admin fee.
No,
Okay, that's in addition.
they usually just covers the.
yeah, they need to have their own separate
Well, that's good.
budget,
Yeah.
revenue and
They-
expense.
Mhm.
That can come later. Those will probably be easier to figure out.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
also just put the, dedicated funds, whatever you call that fund, for the former ARPA fund. I didn't put that on there
Did I
either.
give you one with some
Funds
things
for
on it? That's it.
2025.
Let me give you this one back. It was just a couple things out.
So that is not included in this bottom line?
No, no.
And
And
it's
it probably could be,
remaining-
and capital improvement isn't on there, not in there either, which capital improvement can be used for building and grounds. Equipment, building, whatever.
So I'm not
As long
suggesting
as we
we're
do
in
a
great
hearing.
shape, but I'm assuming with those increases, that shape.
Yes, definitely better shape.
And then with my
We're actually
contribution,
getting
my
close.
taxes.
I reduced, the township board, I reduced the office supplies and postage, I reduced the attorney fees.
Let me ask you about that, okay? I don't see postage on it. Oh, there it is, office supplies / postage. We were looking for that the other day, so it is on there.
Yeah,
Michelle.
Which one is that under? I do see it under the treasurer's, where's the?
Township board control.
Okay,
$5,000 we have budgeted there.
It's office supplies and postage. I don't know why they combined it, but they combined it.
So last time it was 7,500, now it's 5.
Yeah, I reduced it
Okay,
because
all right.
we haven't used that much in that budget. All right.
yeah.
We also didn't use 25,000 for the attorney, so I dropped that.
And we didn't spend 20,000 for the office secretary either.
No. But we did increase that because they wanted to make sure we cover,
That was just in case.
just in case.
Okay, so we wanna leave that at 20 then, because that seems a little high for an office secretary that works only 16 hours a week.
Right, and we're still talking about, is she gonna work 16 hours a week, and are we gonna?
I think we proposed 20, but 20 hours.
Well, the office is open 16, so yeah, half hour early, half hour over here and there, so 20 would be the max, but yes. It's designed to be 16, but we did put 20 in the max.
Let's see. They increased bank fees because they have increased,
This contract services,
contract fees, we increased that to include BSNA.
that's why it's increased, okay, good.
We increased utilities because we discovered that we way under budgeted that.
Okay, I know we're not gonna deal with do everything today, okay? But when I was looking at utilities, oh my God, I can't,
Crazy.
It's ridiculous.
and I can't believe the internet, the charter fees and stuff, isn't that like 33,000?
It's an enormous amount. You gotta get that
It's
fixed.
not, it's internet, it's phone, and it's camera.
Right, I've seen that,
Yeah.
but still, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's 3,000 a month, I mean, this is for 11 months.
That's fire department.
No,
You
they
want to
get
say,
their own, they get their own bill.
They get their own utility bill?
Yeah.
I
They
can
do
say,
their
I
own
bet
utilities.
the heat and the, you gotta find a way to have that turned down, it's hot all the
Hey, all the bills, they get fire department.
in the gym.
Out of the fire department. It's on their bank account.
Okay,
Not that it's a huge amount.
Probably save a lot of money.
yeah,
Yeah, bring some of that over here, so it's cold when I'm in here.
We can turn it
So,
up.
Jim?
Over there, there's no- I can't control it.
I'm about shivering here, man, so.
It's your age.
Hey, Jim, not that
Hey.
it's gonna matter a lot, but the point and pay fees are gonna go away as well because we're not gonna have any fees for BSNA. So it'll be about $600 a year.
Yep, yep. Okay, we have 45 minutes left. I want everybody to just agree, 597, 256 is what we're looking at for income. All right, let's just start going line by line here. I know that we've made a few corrections. Let's make sure everybody's up to date and agreeable. Try to move this through as quickly as we can, all right? Township board salaries, trustees, it's been 11,000 for the last 3 years. I think we can just leave it right there. Office secretary, I think that 20K is a little high. That's just
Yeah, right.
my thing there, but maybe it's.
Let's put it to what it was last year.
I think we actually went over 16,000.
Mhm. What if we just even knocked 2,000 off of it? Because I don't see,
Did that include my cemetery stuff?
No, we did not go over. Actually, so far this year, we're at 14,462. Yes, it did.
So my cemetery stuff, I mean, I do have more cemetery stuff to do, but that was including my entry for BSNA cemetery stuff.
Yeah, there was a whole lot in there.
that's true that there are some additional duties. Even Margaret does some additional duties periodically that might be considered office secretary.
But she does not get paid from the office for the township.
Well, I'm saying she should though.
Well, yeah, but then she'd have to do a separate timesheet whenever, every 5 minutes she does something for the township. That's just not gonna work.
Did you say the trustees got 11?
That's the budget amount.
That's 5,500
So I
each.
think
Why did you make it a salary?
last year we're at 15,000 for, office administrator, but also we haven't had her for the last month. So 2 months
I don't think we should make it a salary.
missing.
You know?
No, because
It varies.
But so
Yeah.
16 is
you might
feasible
have
for that.
one person doing a lot and the other trustee not doing, and they're both getting paid the same, no.
Well, we want to encourage the trustees to do as much as they can.
Well, I like that,
In
but
order to make the budget work, do we want to reduce that to 16?
let's make it 18, we're
18?
about 10,000 short of where we need to be, so I think if we whittle a little bit.
Okay,
In a lot of places or a few places will be,
Well, and I'm showing for my deputy, I'm showing 15,000
okay,
is what is in the budget. So I just wanna make sure that.
I think I
these
dropped
funds-
that because she wasn't making as much as, we budgeted 18,000 before, I think, didn't we?
We budgeted 17,000 before, according to what
I've been around 11.
I wanna make sure whether we do it tonight or it's when it's amended that he gets a raise.
I thought we said no raises.
Well, I have enough money in my budget, I want to get a raise.
For the last.
The overall budget though, it's not just your line items, it's the overall budget is over budget.
kind of when I was saying that we shouldn't. Do the pay increases, I was, and
Yeah,
it affected Jeff when I said it, because I mentioned the $2 for, Craig, but I was thinking, at least at this point, maybe the board should accept the raise, but that doesn't necessarily mean, I think
The
Margaret.
township employees for Margaret and,
If we can get under budget and still do it, but we gotta get under budget
Okay.
first.
All right, well, so another thing, I just really quick want to point out that, amount that you said was for your treasurer or your deputy treasurer, the 15.
Yep.
She will also be kind of having a split too, if she's doing like cemetery
Yeah.
work, so that 17 isn't for the out of, statutory duty stuff.
Right,
That's
that's
just
just the
statutory
treasurer.
duty, okay.
Yeah.
okay,
But-
so,
the treasurer
Just-
budget.
Just make sure you know, and I just wanna remind you that if it's outside of statutory duties, it has to be voted by the board to approve those wages. Which I don't think we ever did for Dee doing the BSNA cemetery stuff. I don't think the board ever voted on that.
Did they ever vote on her helping with the clerk too, setting everything up? Or did that come out of the treasurer's budget as far as setting up everything for QuickBooks and stuff like that?
Oh, I don't.
Probably.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
think that-
everything,
Out of the treasurer's-
yeah,
Okay.
everything I did to help the clerk and set up everything and set up the,
She put that on. Did
That
you
was under
separate
treasurer's
those
budget.
hours on your timesheet at all, or no?
for what?
When you helped?
No,
setting up
no, we
the
just kept it all
QuickBooks?
under the same. No, we weren't doing that. I just helped because that's what we did.
well, so what do we budget for deputy treasurer?
We're not there yet.
Yeah,
We're
we're
still
not.
on township board.
Yeah, we're, office secretary, let's bump it down from the 20 to 18, so. I'm just adding up here, our savings on each page, figure out where we're at when we get there, but 2,000 off of the office secretary to 18,000, I think is.
And then I had reduced the social security to 18,000.
Okay, is that how much we actually pay?
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
so when you say you reduced it, how much?
We had 33.8 in there, and I don't know where that number came from,
Mhm.
but that's not even close to what we've spent. We've
Okay.
only spent about 18,000.
Okay, what if we just made it an even
20?
20, and then,
Okay.
just saying that because, it'll make later, these round numbers or these off numbers.
It'll make it look like we came in under budget.
Yeah, exactly.
And the office secretary, we went with the 18 or 16,000?
18, that's what, so we're gonna be looking at a $13,800 savings,
We also reduced Medicare to 4,000.
okay? 13,800. Okay, we're under budget, guys.
That's just the township board control.
Okay, and what did you reduce Medicare to? Sorry.
4,000.
4,000.
Oh, wow. So we can add another 4 here, holy crap.
So for social
Make a
security,
motion to adjourn. No.
is that 20,000 or 18,000?
18 for the office secretary,
Yeah,
13,800, or excuse me, 20 even,
for,
yes, so
Social
saving here,
Security.
13,800.
and then 4,000 for Medicare.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
No, we're still off 40,000.
Oh, you figured.
Cause you're,
Right.
oh, you're looking at the total income, you want your
Yeah.
total revenue, this number right here. Those are restricted funds, except for this one. Public improvement can be used for
Okay.
some things.
So
but
that's not the number we're using then?
It's this number right here.
Okay, so those should be added to that.
Oh,
number,
yes,
is what you're
sorry,
saying. Oh,
sorry,
no.
yes.
Okay, well, I've screwed that up completely then. Everybody has it wrong.
Well,
What is our
the
revenue bottom line?
Well, I know Dave does. because
the estimated total revenue is 547, 559.
Where are you getting that?
Yeah,
It's. I remember right, your estimated total.
Yeah, but mine says 517.
Well, you didn't add those numbers to that.
Okay, so
You
you
have
have
to-
already added those.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's with the additional
Alright.
40,000.
Yeah,
One more time, let's hear the exact amount, 547, 559.
559.
507, 559.
547, 559.
All right, now we're not gonna change that number?
Hmm.
Okay, that is our revenue number and it will be forever our revenue number for 2026, 25, 26. Okay. Again, office postage supplies, $5,000, that looks reasonable, attorney, 20, we've discussed that, that's,
Cut that in half.
yeah, I wish we could, and maybe we can,
You
but we
can.
got a budget
No
for it,
losses.
20.
Use MTA attorneys.
Okay, auditor, is that typically what we pay the
That would
auditor?
be no good.
Yeah,
They won't do it, aren't
it's a
they?
little over what we paid.
Good.
The
All right,
educators.
contract services, we've gotta get that down some.
Oh, my God.
And what are those contract
80,000.
services? They're listed on your
This is it right here,
profit loss.
yep. Well,
No, I sent you an entire report, just contract services.
here, you can look at mine real quick.
That's right. You can
Yeah.
pull it up. I've gotten
Um,
so many emails today.
Michelle, it's the same as your detailed report on your profit and loss.
Okay, so it is what I was looking at.
Yes.
Yeah.
just as-
It just tells you who they are.
I know that $80,000 is a big number. I'm thinking we should lower it a little bit for our projection and amend it later.
So far this year, we're at 72,000.
Wait, hold. We
That's
we've got
fine.
we have BS&A on there for 16,000. That's not gonna be next year, is it? And it shouldn't be in contract. It shouldn't be in contract services anyways.
Why not?
It should be under,
It's a recurring contract.
I don't know, I think it should, I don't know if it's contract or it should be under subscriptions or
Signed
software.
contract. It's just like Centaurus, we signed a contract, just like the sheriff, we signed a contract.
Yeah, but it's software. So if we're gonna do that, then we need to put QuickBooks under contract because we pay them every year. We need to put
I would have
some of the
known
other-
this was.
no,
Where-
QuickBooks is under bookkeeper. And there were other fees, so like BS&A was put under the treasurer for taxes, BS&A, and then BS&A under assessor, which it shouldn't be under treasurer, it should be under contract services or the board control.
Yeah,
BS&A under treasurer.
Yeah, it's the it was under. Just a minute.
But I agree, that BSNA isn't gonna be there, so can we just, to move along and,
Mhm.
let's say that 80,000 is 75? I mean, that's a small reduction, but we're gonna reduce the or the Centaurus. By the end of the year, we're gonna have Centaurus reduced. We have to, is
Okay, 75.
that agreeable?
Mhm.
So it's a $5,000 savings there. What was it?
I say replace. but
Centaurus.
that's just my-
And we may do that, yeah, I'm not opposed to that. I have no loyalty to Centaurus whatsoever.
We either have to get out of the contract or wait
Yeah,
till
what's
it's
the
over.
deal with that? We talked about that many times. Do they have an actual
We
contract?
do have a contract. I emailed it to everybody.
Three different.
I said, here's the signed contract.
Oh, really? Okay,
It was signed electronically. That's why we don't have one with a signature on it. It just has a scribble at the,
But now they want to give us a good deal.
well.
Now that Jim's been on their case.
We've been discussing and, he wants to come and meet and go over things and explain why it is so expensive and what we're at there. See you, John. Okay, so we can add 5 more. So,
So for the total township board control expenses, I have 249,500.
okay,
Which is,
I like that yours adds it all up.
for total township board control expenses, you have how much?
249,500,
Okay,
which is a $30,000 savings almost, well, 25. Good job, guys.
got it cut a little bit. All right, supervisor, not changing the salary. We have 500 for office supplies and 500 for schooling and training, which is a little bit low, but
Jim's a nice guy. We'll keep it where it's at.
I don't know if that's a good reason to do it.
I know.
I'm thinking, and again, when we do our, salary negotiations or whatever we wanna talk, I'm just gonna go at a flat 18, you know,
you want to reduce yours to 18?
yeah. That's not a big reduction, but it'll help our numbers. You can do that right now if you want, but we need to prove that on a resolution at some point, but
Yeah.
I'm game for it.
Okay.
Not much, but it's something.
No, it's a lot. So are we changing that right now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, then you're gonna reduce to 19,000 the total supervisor control expenses.
Yep.
Okay, everybody got that?
Yep.
We are moving along. All right, election control. I don't know much about what all you do with that.
What did you end up with the bottom line for the total, township control with the cuts?
249,500.
This is an election year, isn't, so it might be a lot cheaper.
There's still 3 elections. There's still 3 elections.
Like one of them's for the 100 people, right?
3.
Yeah, but we're being reimbursed from the school for that.
Yeah, and that's another
All
line
3.
item that we don't have on revenue is election reimbursement. We took reimbursements off, so. Oh, no, I did have 3,000 on there.
Is that typically the cost that we're reimbursed from the school for 107 or? we don't?
I have
Give
no
or take.
idea. We've never done
You're
that
just
before.
guessing. Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, maybe it'll be more.
Actually, that's a whole big issue because the state gave us grants to purchase election equipment and also for reimbursements for wages and whatnot. And they didn't put a limit on it, so everybody applied for those grants and was approved. And then when the county submitted their reimbursement requests, the state went, oh, you're over the limit. And they didn't tell them there was a limit. So then they said, well, there's not gonna be any reimbursements because we're over budget. And so we were not gonna get a reimbursement, and then suddenly we got a reimbursement, and we were surprised to get it, but it was only part of what we paid out for elections.
Quick question, under election control, other professional services, what exactly is that?
That would be, the election source. They come and they program the tabulators and they do
Is it
the,
actually $5,000 though to do that?
when you have 3 elections or 4 elections, yeah, it's
Okay.
over
Okay.
$1,000
Well,
each
I
time.
saw that the previous year it was 1,500, so I didn't know if it was under budgeted previously, cause I, look back to 23, it's 421.
Yeah, it was under budgeted.
Okay, so 5 was the number then.
In the wages under the election control, those are all of the people that are working in the elections,
Mhm.
correct?
Yes,
That are not.
not including myself and Margaret, we're under clerk.
Okay.
So 22,400 is the number on elections. We're
Yeah, I
not gonna
don't see
change
that
it.
we can, yeah, I don't
Okay.
see that we can reduce that.
So wages is good at 10,000,
Yeah.
all right?
Again, that
I
we
mean, I
get,
can,
we get a reimbursement though. Well, not for our level.
I think
For
we're
the-
gonna have to wait and see
for the
what the
other-
reimbursement is.
For the last fiscal year, we spent almost $10,000 on elections
Mm.
for wages,
Well, that's that
99.46.
the 9 days.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Increasing.
yeah.
All right, I'm looking at this, if we're finished with election control, and we're leaving that at 22,400.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't see any room to move on that one. Assessor control. You know, there's a new contract probably coming up with her.
We have a current contract that this year her contract wage, goes up to 39.6. I just put that in there. I checked her
Okay.
contract
Okay,
and it is not up for, I think she has one more year on it after this year.
well, that's good. So assessor control looks like 43,600 is the number.
Yeah, not a lot we can change on that.
All right. Quick control.
All right, we can drop my salary down to 20,000. I will not be taking a raise either.
Wow, that's great.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, Margaret might be over 18,000 right now. Let me check.
Well,
No, she's at 17, so by the end of March, she'll be at 18.
okay. So do you want to leave it at 18? I mean, I know we're considering wage increases for the deputies. But,
How many hours does she work, out of curiosity?
a lot more
Well,
than
it
she gets paid.
depends on when it's 9 days of early voting.
She does.
So
She
because
has
it's
to be
under the
here.
clerk,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. So however many elections you have that you have to have early voting. Which we shouldn't have any early voting.
If
this year.
she's at 17,000 for 11 months, 17,060, if you divide that by 11, it's 1,550. So you add 1,550 to the 17, that would be over 18,000.
She might be just a smidge, yeah.
So, I mean,
But she has also cut back her hours,
oh, okay,
yeah,
all right. So we're gonna hold to that 18?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can amend later when we do the raises if we do.
And then
There's not really
there's
much
not
else
really
there.
office supplies, it's just really everything that we do is under township.
Mhm. So I think 41,390 is the number for that.
Well,
Well,
41,
Christine took a little bit
minus
off.
The 17.
Yeah,
I'm
mine's
sorry, yeah.
39,650.
39,650.
I don't really expect that we need any new equipment, but I don't really wanna drop that,
Yeah.
just in case,
that's-
but we can
yeah.
always adjust.
Yeah.
If you wanna lose another 1,000, we can drop that for new equipment.
I can't imagine that we would go a whole year and not need something.
I know, right?
So let's just leave it at that.
Okay,
Looks pretty, border review is pretty simple there. Let's just leave it right where it's at. 2875.
I did include lunch in that budget amount this time,
Okay, good.
A little more on training in school.
yeah.
Okay.
I already did my training for next 2 years on that. Okay, guess then 2875 is what we're looking at, and we'll move on. Treasurer control.
And you wanted to increase these from 15 to what?
No,
He doesn't work 20, she doesn't work the amount of hours that, I want hers to go up by an hourly wage. Cause I wanted to go up an hourly wage, so I don't want you to touch the 15,000.
Oh, okay.
You think we need to bump that up a little?
It was 17 before, I don't know why, we went from
Mhm.
17 to 15, and we would drop her.
Oh, because she hasn't spent that much.
I only do around 10.
Yeah,
She's at
Yeah.
9,500 for 11 months.
Yeah,
So 15 should be good then, even if there was a raise.
yeah,
including
That's what I
today's paycheck,
suggest.
it's 10,685.25.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And
So
I see
even
you
with
have
the raise-
3,000 postage, is that adequate? I mean,
That would be KCI, just whenever you guys. I think that's about
But that's for the meter you're talking about.
it. No,
Oh,
no,
for
that's
the
for sending
company.
out the
That's
tax bills.
actually for sending out taxes, so if,
Mhm.
you know, the tax.
Well, it's
come
73
under the
cents.
Treasurer.
For a first class stamp, and we got 2,518 parcels, so that'll get you one letter.
They get a bulk rate. They get a bulk rate for that.
Extra enough in that, so we can do a newsletter this time, and Dee can do it, you don't have to pay a big amount, we pay Lisa. She said she
Well,
was able
speak for
to.
yourself. Shoot, they paid
Mhm.
Lisa last year $600. I mean, I should at least get 400.
Well,
We need to do a
you know,
newsletter.
that may be,
We need a newsletter.
yeah, I don't know that that's Dee's
I think it
duty.
was 500 that we paid Lisa.
I don't know if it's Dee's duty, but we can work on a newsletter, but that's not our budget.
Yeah, that would have to be voted on.
All right, and no contract services for
And
the
we do
treasurer.
have Clearwater Matter and overheard in Rapid City, I mean, it gets all the.
Those
good
are not
shit
official.
possible.
They'll get you in trouble. You put stuff on there, it will get you in trouble.
Yes, it will. I don't put anything on
Me
it.
neither.
Good.
Okay, so 3,000 postage then, is that something I mean, it's less than it was last year, and I don't know if you've gone over or under in that, or you have any idea?
Well, I mean, I guess that it would have to, like, taxes aren't separate from the treasurer control like elections are, so we would just have to make sure then for mailing those out, but that's within our budget.
Mhm.
Dee, do you know what we actually spent on postage?
$2,758.13, according to the report.
So we're good with 3,000.
I'm almost thinking that we should slightly increase that, maybe 3,500. Postage is going up.
Yeah, you know, the sad thing about that is a lot of them come back undeliverable. It's
Yeah.
such a
Yeah.
waste of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can,
We think we should increase that.
prepay, right? I mean, we can buy at the current postage rate.
Here we have a meter.
Yeah, we
So
get
I'll
a,
give it
we
a
get a
reduced rate.
reduced rate because it's a meter, even though it
It's a
says
couple
what the
cents.
amount is.
No, no, the KCI is not meter. That's the price that KCI gives us.
Mhm.
We don't do that out of the office at all.
Yeah, we don't
Okay,
put the
And
postage on.
they
those.
get a bulk rate, right?
okay. So
Yeah.
the question is 3,000 enough?
We're just
Yeah,
gonna leave it.
Okay,
3,000 is
all right.
good.
Moving on.
Mhm.
Printing, publishing, that's still good?
That's-
Well, if they don't change their prices.
Mhm.
What do you
All right.
have?
2,000,
Yeah,
last year was $50, because the prior year was $5,000.
Yeah, that was
Well-
wrong. That was way wrong.
Mhm. Okay, well, then let's leave it where it's at, and I think new equipment, $1,000, you still need that
No.
laptop with the
No.
extra keypad
No.
or whatever?
No, we got
Okay.
a keypad.
Okay,
So you want
So
to drop the new equipment or are you good?
Well, we should probably leave it. I mean, we're having
Okay.
Yeah.
this.
Right, yeah,
Takes
something-
a poop.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, you
So
knock it
we're
off the
not
table
changing a
and
thing in the treasurer's.
No, it just
Okay.
is a laptop.
but we talked about getting a printer for our new office area.
Well, I have 2 printers. We would just have to do HP instead ink.
No.
Which I refuse to do at my house. I'm gonna go dig out my old printer.
Doug has one in the office, I don't know if you can hook up to that.
I have 2 of them and it's.
39,550 then is the good number for a treasurer still?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Building and grounds.
Wow.
Maintenance wages, we got 45,000 on there.
I think it was more than that.
Yeah.
On his end of December,
That's because cemetery was in it
yeah, and probably part of that came out of cemetery.
and fire.
Do we have the breakdown of what that is, or no, we're just 45,000 and we're good out of that, we're not gonna.
Under building and grounds wages, I have $42,142.72 so far this fiscal year.
So
Well,
that's about
There will be
45.
2 more checks.
Are we still gonna have the lady that does the cleaning? Are we keeping that on?
I personally think we need that. I do.
The maintenance used to do that,
I mean,
that would fill up Craig's hours when he didn't have things to do.
Well, you're trying
Well,
to.
why doesn't
So-
she sweep the floor?
6 hours a month or something.
She
and
does a
She
good
does
job.
about 3 or 4 hours a month.
Yeah, she does a good job.
Yeah.
That would give Craig more hours.
Where is that on?
I can't go much longer. I was starting to.
It's mixed in with Craig's income. It's right here.
Okay. Mixed in with
Yeah,
45?
it is, it's hers and his, is a total of 45.
You get
Okay.
17 and you get
Okay.
40 out of that,
All right,
not counting the cemetery income.
Right.
RM building and RM equipment,
Repair maintenance.
that's good. Vehicle two,
However, that does not include what we need to replace the deck on this building.
okay,
To do the second coat of floor sealer on the gym floor. To get a new gym floor cleaner, which we looked at but never purchased.
right,
And I think that's just the three. The other thing he talked about was a dump trailer, but that could probably come from capital improvement.
and we did,
That'd be
okay, a
nice.
gas can and
What?
a gas can that pumps gas for a
Oh,
diesel
yeah, the
thing. It's
gas.
a couple
can
$100, so that's
thingy.
not a huge thing,
No,
but
that's,
I think it's 5,000.
Can that go in the back of this, is that in the back of his truck? So you can fill it up and pump it out?
Maybe, we looked at a couple different ones, one of them did, one of them didn't, but he's gonna bring it to the next meeting, I think.
Couple $100 for,
A gas can that pumps, or it's a diesel can, and it pumps
yeah,
off a line rather than.
okay, cause the siphon thing's $10, but
Mhm.
you know, when you just pump
You
it.
still gotta, well, yeah, but you still gotta look
Hold
at
it
the
up.
tire, that's the, to make the second work, you gotta have a can, gas can higher.
No, that's what the pump does.
Yeah,
It
but how
takes
does
the
it,
gravity part out.
how does it keep going? You have to keep pumping the whole time you're doing
Yeah. Well, we're talking a couple
Yeah,
of pumps,
yeah,
we
yeah.
can figure that out later.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Alright.
he's looking at a couple different ones,
Okay.
we'll figure that out, but. All right, so.
the other professional services on that is, Durkee comes and does, the AC inspections and repairs every year, and I forget what else is on that.
Mhm. This township hall control expenses, that does not include this building,
No,
so we're gonna have another one here.
oh, wait, yes, it does,
Okay,
yes, it does.
okay. I don't see really anything on there that would imply that, but if it's both, that's good.
Yeah,
We have,
What do we
I just
currently
can't,
charge for rentals at the Little Red Schoolhouse?
for here, it's $15 an hour,
What's that?
rentals for here, I think it's $15 an hour, and
Well, it depends, if you're in township, I think they raised up to 18 if you're outside the township.
yes,
well, that's still real good.
It is real good.
It could be more, we got people coming from all over.
Yeah, we should make it more.
Especially for the gym, there's no gym to use.
yeah,
Well, I was gonna say, not getting off the subject, but there was a handful of kids in there tonight.
Yep.
Okay. We'll increase our liability insurance, no, I'm just kidding. So on the village gas, gosh,
wait a minute.
not to go backwards, but we're still on building and grounds control.
Okay.
23,000 that one year for 23, 24. We spent that much money on
Did
fuel.
someone have a gas card?
Is that the fire department too?
It's not a card, they have an account, we have an account
That's a
at
lot of money.
Village Market, so they just charge to the account for the
It
township.
went from 23,590 to 6,000
Yeah,
to 5,000.
yep.
Tell
As
me-
soon as our maintenance supervisor stopped working for the township, our gas. bill went
Basically,
down.
because, I mean, I shouldn't be laughing.
Well,
And Craig is still using the same amount of gas to do all of his maintenance for
That Craig and
grounds.
Mhm.
Bilski used to do.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Wow,
Yeah.
right there. I mean, look at that.
That's pretty
How can
positive.
you
Yeah.
look at that and not know something was
18,000
wrong?
and some change.
And look
We
also,
got videos. Videos,
yeah,
that's the way it is.
Could they put in a new former?
his own car,
Oh, I thought maybe former.
No.
he go right into Village Market with his own car and fill up. And literally, Joanne turned that in,
I did.
and nothing was done. Turned the video of that in, and nothing was
We
done.
had a testimony from a person who complained about it. My sister-in-law was taken in.
Okay, I did reduce the repair maintenance for equipment and vehicle to half what we budgeted. I'm a little hesitant to do that because if something breaks down, we only have $5,000 budgeted for
When we get to
fixing.
the bottom here, we're gonna have a little more and we'll put all the rest of whatever's left in the contingency. And if
We
have a
can also
breakdown-
use like not public improvement, capital improvement. If
Sure.
we need to
Sure.
fix something and we don't have the money to do it, we can.
Sure.
So you wanna leave that at 5,000 or make it 2,500?
No. it's
Oh, no,
already
we don't
been
wanna go any lower than
Yeah,
5,000.
cut in
So
half
we're
is-
good with
I mean,
Oh, I see.
yeah, the one repair of the tractor was 1,400, so.
Okay.
No, you're good with 87,000.
I think so.
Okay.
I think we're right on the money, yep.
Cemetery.
Okay.
It doesn't give us the money we need to do those projects, or to get those things though.
We're gonna have, there's gonna be people looking at that cemetery, so I'd love to see that go up a little bit.
Well, it's at 11 now, and it was 7 last year, but.
That's
I
what I
know-
used, but it was all blame. There's so much repairs that need to be done there.
Mhm. Well,
And also, what's being done with the BSNA, that's all, what should come out of the cemetery, being putting all that information in the BSNA. I don't know how long that's gonna take.
that's not a bad idea. That's 4,000 contract VSA, is it got $4,000 already allocated for that?
Yeah, but that's not the person entering everything and we're having to walk all around those stones and figuring it all out.
Mhm.
And actually, some of the graves are coming, they're moving. They're sinking
Mhm.
and it's bad and they've got these awful rods in there. It just needs,
Nothing's been done in this township for decades.
no.
The cemetery is gonna probably need some attorney fees too, if we're going to figure out who owns them and then whether we can get them back or not.
Mhm.
So,
Well, I'm looking at this $11,000 number here, repair and maintenance 2,000. It's probably gonna be more than that.
It'd be nice if you can fix a chapel so that could be rented.
Well,
People could have a funeral in the chapel, you mean, or?
The chapel's been cleaned out. It got cleaned out. It needs some renovation.
Well, that
It could
could
be-
possibly be a public improvement expense.
Sure.
Oh, could be, yeah.
I like this number 11,000 right here. I could bump it up a little bit, but what do you guys think?
well,
I say leave it
Craig
at
gets,
that.
Craig gets paid to do cemetery stuff in a different category, right?
Mhm.
Alright, so we can just leave it, I think.
Okay, we're looking at 11 and
About 5,000 in cemetery wages.
just a quick thing before you guys may not know that cemetery chapel, it used to be our township hall.
Oh, really?
They moved it to that location.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, that was our township
Wow.
hall. And it was completely built out of wood that was sawed from a mill that operated, that was completely powered by the river. So
That's
Seven
cool.
Bridges? Was it the song?
I, it was Clement.
Probably by the Ricker brothers.
Yes.
It was Clement.
There you go,
Where did that building sit?
right there.
Right here?
I don't know,
Oh,
but it was the Clement was the name of the guy that had the sawmill.
Oh, no, that was up the river, that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a little story on that once.
My diamond
Oh,
ring is
that's why
from
you would-
Richter's.
Oh, yeah.
Jake Richter.
Oh, yeah. I lived in that. Ricker's addition.
Did you?
So we're
Okay.
done with this, right?
I think we are done with that, and we're on the last page, if I'm correct.
Yes,
We might
we
even get
are.
this done.
Well,
Deputy,
we're still not there yet.
no. Why does it say cemetery, and then it goes to deputy control?
That's a deputy, that's the sheriff's
Oh, sheriff
contract.
deputy, okay.
Yeah,
0.
which, yeah, we're not gonna have a contract because we don't have any money to pay a contract.
Oh, okay,
We're losing our contract.
alright.
Good idea.
Well, I think
Christina,
we
I
should,
look forward to
I
beginning
think we
with.
should discuss that, because there's a lot of people in this community that don't agree with.
Well, I know
Okay,
that, I know
so-
that. I'm just saying, if we
Yeah, you
add a
say a
number
lot.
into that, we're,
I hear a lot of people saying no.
Well-
Who's lot?
I heard
The
it
people that don't come to the
that
meetings.
says we
The
should
people-
buy
the people that
full
don't
and
come
have
to
a
the meetings.
contract, and then I
Which is
hear
probably 80%
another
plus.
population that
Yeah.
says they have to come here anyway.
Mhm.
So.
Here's something I like, okay? And I don't know why the previous board didn't do this, it was mentioned, okay? What if we had a quarter mil or a half mil
Mhm.
for sheriff, okay? And we don't have to worry about where that money's coming from.
Right.
And then that gives the people out there the choice of whether they want it or not. If they don't want it, they'll vote, they don't want it.
Right.
And we don't have to make that decision.
What do we, okay, how come on here, the 23-24 year has nothing and 24-25?
We didn't have a contract with them. We did not renew it.
Okay,
We didn't have a
Yeah.
contract for 20.
You did
was it
for a
22,
while, I
24?
kept, no, but then we had 1 year without, we saw no difference. Absolutely no difference in our, but my thing is,
I got-
Why can't we- since we hired them, why can't we
And
know
then
when
it's
they're
zero
here?
because it got paid out of ARPA.
oh, okay, cause I know we recently, like, we agreed to pay 12,000 or something, right?
Yes,
23 or something.
yeah,
Okay.
we're still paying that contract, but it came out of ARPA.
Ends in
funds.
April.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna just.
Leave that for now, or?
Um,
Are we not planning with zoning control?
I think if we're gonna all agree that we're not gonna budget anything for the sheriff right now, that's where we're at. And actually, we could get that on the May election, if there is any election in May about the sheriff, you know, we could do that. I think during the 4th of July and that though, and that's been in,
I think we
You
need to
mean
have,
August election? It's too, I think it's too late to do in May. You'd have to have your ballot language in already.
right. February 18th, I think was the day. For getting the ballot language on the May, you're right. Okay, so August or November election, we're gonna plan to put wording on the ballot to make the public decide whether or not they want a sheriff. You know,
with a lot of explanation that people have this mindset that if we don't have it, we don't have sheriff. They get money. Anyone that calls, they have to come. Everything is covered.
other town, not all townships do
And yeah, so
And then
Are we
the other thing they wanted to sell to us, I'm not a big fan of that either, because then you have patrols that congregate to areas on the information that you get. They're almost like, a speed trap. And then they get more handing out tickets.
and then you get even Fourth of July, you get a lot of them standing around chatting and all that. It's just, I don't know if we need that many.
Yeah, let's have that discussion
Yeah,
later
that's
and
okay.
finish this.
But you're not doing it anyway.
Planning and zoning control, zoning wages 30K, is that still
Hell
good?
no,
No?
that is crazy.
I
Okay.
can't get a number for that because I don't know why it's not.
We have
I
an
have
accurate amount of where he gets paid.
What Mark said, I'll give half of mine.
It's not
And so-
reporting
Consider,
correctly.
our public
in the
safety, consider we
QuickBooks.
could have 25, but I didn't know they put anything in a budget for that like that.
We
just
have
knew that.
salary and we added.
But he goes to the zoning meetings, planning and all that.
Wages.
Yeah, there's more to it than
There is.
what you think, you know, it's,
And dealing with,
And
I
we're
rode
gonna
around.
fix that.
and 30,000
Well, I'm
isn't
just
what we're.
curious if we have a pay stub or an amount in a paycheck that tells us how much
Mhm.
he
We
actually.
should have that.
Yeah, I can tell you, we just did his
Should be. With your own check out.
totally different.
Well, I
area.
mean, you got a W-2 that we just did.
But all the paychecks should be in the,
Well, of course, his hours are gonna be, less right now. He
It
worked
should be in
44
yours,
hours in
Michelle.
the month,
You should
but he
have
was
his
gone for
paycheck
2
numbers and
weeks.
everything in there.
True.
So he only
I
made,
mean, you know, I used to enter
Here
them,
today.
well, he just started, so 3,000.
each check that was written.
I'm looking for that.
See, it shows up on here, but it's,
check.
there's no place on
You
the
know what I
report
mean?
that it shows.
That shows.
So I don't
the
know why it's not
year-to-date
showing up in the
that is.
report.
Mm.
I probably have it in a file cabinet.
Well, I don't know, I mean, I know the history of zoning, I know where it was with Adam and what he was getting paid, and to Marvin and Lisa, and that was stupid. 30,000, no way in hell, that, like 17.5 maybe. Maybe 20 at the most, budget for 20, but 30, absolutely not.
Back to.
How much did that, this
summer.
budget, that was budgeted, how much did he use?
Well, that's
Trying to figure it
what
out,
we're.
because he's only
we're
worked a
trying to
partial
figure
year.
that out.
Because he's only worked a partial year, we're trying to do the math.
There's other things that he could
If you
do.
custom,
Let's not
if you
try
go
to
into the
find-
custom of that report,
What was that, Kate?
Christine, if you go into that report and you go into custom, and then you go into accounts, I believe, see if that box, do you know what you put it under?
Just a suggestion.
Wages, zoning administrator.
Oh. Oh, zoning administrator, not just zoning?
Well,
Or is it under zoning wages? Or zoning salary?
in the wages
Process of-
category, it just says wages zoning administrator, but I don't know why it's not reported.
Variance and stuff like that.
Well, if you go into reports, if you go into that report,
He's
Hold on,
wages
I'm
$25 an hour.
Doing something else right now.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
It is.
It's 25 now.
I thought it was 23 or 25.
No, it's 25.
Okay, good.
All right, so, if the work equals 25 an hour times so many hours a week,
Mhm.
it's gonna fluctuate. Like right now, it's that. Okay, you can't bill us as if you're getting salary when you're hourly.
Right.
Well, she just said that he had a lower, like 44 hours, so it's just like 22, you can say 22 a week, right? Cause it wasn't a regular 40-hour week.
Yeah, typically, okay, so in the summer, he worked 70.5 hours
For 2 weeks.
for, well, no, it's a month. He only,
It's
he
one
billed,
check.
yeah, he gets
Okay,
paid monthly
70 hours
for
for
a
a month,
month,
So
so.
that's
about 18 hours a week.
18, 19.
Yeah,
Okay, so even if it's 20, that's 500 a week.
Mhm.
Okay, so 52 weeks in the year, right?
We just took 2 weeks off, but
So that would be like 25,000, okay? I
I
still
mean,
think that's,
we just bump it a couple thousand down, 27.
okay, where
No.
were you talking, Dee? What report?
so if you go into your memorized report that you have for the profit and loss that you printed,
Not there.
No, it's not in my memorized, it didn't save it, so.
I saved it for you. It's the same one I saved. So it's in there. It's under memorized, and I think it's under accounting. So you go to reports, memorized accounting. I think that's where I put it. Memorized accountant, maybe, or maybe it's company. Shoot, I don't know. It's in one of those.
Okay, I found it. It is in company.
Okay. And then you open it up, and at the top left corner, it says customize report.
Yep. Filter?
Yep. And then you got, so under account, under the word account, it says all income expenses or whatever. You need to scroll and have multiple account.
It's on multiple.
Okay. So now you need to find where you put it in those. A lot of them should be marked and unmarked, but find where his is at and see if it's marked.
And then the
okay,
Oh,
here's
you don't
the
count the
thing.
state bank on it. That's fine.
There's a lot of responsibility there.
My trustee wage is 3,500.
Mhm.
Okay, max, all right. If I go to a Parks and Rec meeting, I'm getting that above what we're budgeting for. Okay.
We have to decide,
We'll
yeah, I think that's
work.
reasonable to think if you attend a meeting, you should get paid if you want to.
Right, well, the same thing there. If he's doing things above and beyond what he has to do.
Those are meetings he's required to go to.
Okay,
We have pretty much established that he's
well,
required
we
to go
can
to
set,
the, excuse me, planning, but maybe not always the ZBA, but he always does go to planning and he always usually comes to the
Okay,
regular meeting.
so why don't we set an amount and then
Do you think he
those
put it
are,
on his zoning salary?
what's that? No,
Well, it should have automatically been connected to that, but I don't think it is.
Well, that's weird. Do you have
I don't know
two
why.
accounts?
It should be under zoning wages, and zoning wages is,
Is it under
Checked.
zoning administrator?
Do you have an extra account in there somewhere that I don't have? Cause
is it under planning and
that's
zoning?
what I'm looking for. I don't know why it. No.
I
No,
wouldn't know. I'm
there's,
looking to see it.
there's nothing, it must be something to do with the payroll.
Can you go to his
Um,
last paycheck and bring up what his year to date is? Or his
Yeah,
last year?
He
I guess
hasn't
that won't
worked-
matter, right? He didn't have a full year.
Right.
Well, we can divide it by the amount of time. it's in.
I mean, yeah, I could do the end of the year.
Well, I mean, can't we just estimate, let's say he's gonna work 20 hours a week? Times 25, I mean,
Well, yeah, but in the winter,
He's typically
I don't see
4 hours a
20 hours.
day.
I see that number to be 20.
but I would say in the summer, it's probably more than 20.
Okay, well, if we have to deal with it at that time, why do we wanna say, put a high number on there?
Mm.
Well,
Let's
we could
make
be
it
under
25.
budget on that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, at the
Sure.
end of the year.
Yeah.
So what happens if, say, he decides he doesn't wanna do that job? That he finds something else he wants to do and we look for an administrator, then we said, well, you're only gonna get paid this month.
Even at 2,000 a month, that would be 24,000,
Mhm.
and that wouldn't be a salary, that would be, we're budgeting for that, and you're probably gonna come under that.
Mhm.
So,
Let's lower it then, let's do 24.
24 would be the max, I'm thinking more like the clerk's wage, 20. But,
Well, if we're gonna pay him.
I mean,
hourly,
we gotta strap down,
Yeah,
and if he goes beyond that, and if we have to have, a meeting and increase it, let's do it, but let's not set it like,
mhm.
you're gonna, you're guaranteed this, or
Sure,
you can, you can do your time sheets, and if it doesn't exceed this, then you're okay, we don't want that.
right.
There's no guarantee
So
because
you-
D isn't guaranteed.
You
The
think
past
Craig
year hit
is worth more?
17,000.
No, we're not gonna compare
Okay,
Craig
no,
to that,
that's,
no,
that's what I'm saying.
No,
There's a lot of
no, it's got nothing to do with Craig.
Okay.
If you look at what Craig does compared to what, a zoning administrator does, you can't compare apples to oranges.
Was.
No, because it takes more brains to do the zoning administrator than it does to push a lawnmower.
Exactly.
24,000, sound good, going once?
Going twice.
Alright.
Well,
That's gonna save us
I'm not okay with 24, I'm okay
Well,
with
that's what we're budgeting, what he gets paid can be under. And we'll work on that
We're going 24 on that?
when we do our,
Okay.
recalculations of, wages.
Well, if I'm outvoted on that, I don't,
Mhm.
that's one thing, but I wanna be on record to say that should be 20,
Mhm. Okay,
all right?
alright, so we got another little 6,000 savings there, did you get that? Okay, you did,
And I don't think we can reduce planning or ZBA.
no, and they get paid nothing, literally,
Yeah,
I was on
really.
there for 3 years, $150 a month.
Yep.
ZBA wages, that's only meets 4 times a year, I think. Recording secretary, we haven't had one for a couple of years, no need to do that.
I would like to have one, but no, I'll continue to do
This
that.
attorney fees can be taken out of that, I think, for planning and zoning.
Yeah,
Because we do that through the board. does that.
it's township board, yeah.
So, I mean, you can just cross it.
Yeah, we can.
So we're just reducing it by 6?
Yeah, we're at 34,000.
Okay.
34, okay, well, yeah, that's improvement.
But that still leaves us at 574,975. And we need to get to 547 instead of 574.
So we gotta crank out. $30,000? Anybody wanna take a break, walk around for a few minutes maybe, or?
Yeah.
Can I get you some water? Everybody got water? You got water?
Yeah, let's do that and then we'll wrap it up. Next. Yeah.
This, so you know about the water thing? We own this one, that one we're renting this thing.
Oh, you know, I mean, I was looking at the water, the Pure Water Works and some other things like that. It's crazy what we pay.
People who
But
rent
the
the
water's
building.
not drinkable.
Wow.
Yeah, we still have $27,416 to,
And that we're paying for the
I
machine
don't know how we're gonna trim that.
there, because this one broke, but this was free, but they bring the water included in the rent. I don't know, I can't remember how much it was a month, it's not very much. It's the water we use that costs. I could put in a water filter here and get rid of that.
Well, I was thinking that too, or we increase the rental fees for the gym
I think it's, you'll still get it.
and increase the cemetery and increase the rental for here.
The rent of this building is the same as it was when my daughter had.
It's gotta go way up. It's gotta go way up.
It does.
I used to come in the
And then we
evening
can have water.
to do my stuff and now, like, right after 5:30, I come and do what I need to do. I'm not
It
gonna
could
go
easily be 25 bucks
dark.
and 50 for all the
It's
dollars.
open for people to go in, like,
You can't rent it.
opening it up to, like, maybe the people that hang out and do drugs at the park might decide they're gonna do it in the
I've not seen
township.
that. I've not seen anybody do drugs in Township Hall.
No, I said they do it in the park. Who's to say if it's late and
That's
after
where-
dark and no one's around that they.
That's why
won't
we've
do
got
it
the
in the park.
cameras. We got the cameras on the outside, we've got cameras on the inside. And we've got a police controller.
Nothing good happens after dark, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I,
Just story.
but it needs to
Oh,
be.
yeah, for my house, I would look out the back window and that's.
But they have to have an adult, no kids go down the house.
I see them all day long.
I was telling Nana's sister.
Another thing we could do is go,
Computer class that I did.
3 or 6 months.
And I'm like, people think that doesn't happen. I'm like, "It does." So we like called. Asked my sister-in-law was wearing shoes.
Before we went their maintenance. Before we went our maintenance. DSD and the other, I called all the townships around, most of them contact out. But because
So,
we hired,
Michelle,
they decided by law.
that's where, what
We
we
were
gotta
told the job
reduce.
deal, told us he
Okay.
was a mechanic, we saved money, right?
I was thinking maybe, you know, this 9 p.m.
Here's my thing about being a mechanic.
Huh?
Here's the
Gym
thing
time
about
or whatever, we
Craig
could
working on.
use that as a trial thing
Oh,
and,
Well, no,
and
it's
see
not,
how it goes.
Jeff and John had a thing about, he's not.
It may not
Because he doesn't do the work on.
You know, they're
If he were to be tearing down equipment to rebuild it, like hydraulic lines.
Just
and-
like
The 3 kids that were in there, they get dropped off almost
All
every
the
single
other stuff he
day.
does wouldn't get
And I've
done.
been with them
The
there
snow plows
several
won't be done on
times, they're
time.
really good
Okay.
kids, they're,
So we
The
can't,
concern is,
yeah.
I was
Just
just
last
told that
24 hours
kids not allowed in there without.
we need to have a time sheet.
Yeah, that one kid is
I'm
about
not, I
14.
don't
I
worry
did
about
this till
those.
9.
Yeah.
Those aren't the ones, it's the
Because
ones
2 weeks.
that are,
Trouble.
and not
I think
necessarily
we
kids,
should turn in
that
a
are
time sheet.
people that.
if we,
you know,
well, we're gonna get to that, if we have time sheets on zoning as well.
All right, so
We wouldn't be
27,000.
budgeting.
John signs in and all.
I
I think we should bump grants rather
I'm
than
not,
spend
if you
less.
need a phone call.
Yeah.
First of all.
Add the ARPA funds in there and
we have a conversation.
we're good. If that's part of your beginning balance.
No, I talked to Christine, about, it. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know what we pay,
I'll talk about
like
that.
in paper and stuff like that, so I actually went online to kind of see like where we are at paper and kind of got an idea from Dee, like how much we use. So a case of 10 Marines on the Amazon was like $45 a case. How much paper did we determine that you use, Dee? About?
Oh, I don't remember. I want to say maybe 5, I think it was 5 reams, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was through my machine here at home.
Yeah, and then I looked at like envelopes per case, like $27. I looked at paper clips, pens, like what we would typically use.
For the treasurers.
Yeah, I don't know, excuse me, if we would use $700 in office supplies.
Well, you also have these, HP Instant Ink.
Yeah, she was gonna get me the price on that too.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
that's gonna go down because we're not doing paper receipts.
Yeah,
The disbursements reports or the disbursement checks and the
We're not-
reports that I run and the batch reports, those all will be still printed from this one.
We're not doing printed receipts.
We're not doing the paper receipts to mail them back, not when I do the payments with the envelope.
Not sure what you're talking about.
When people send in their.
The self-addressed stamped envelopes.
Right.
Right. We're not printing those and sending them back in the self-addressed stamped envelope, at least for a year to get, I have had so many people so grateful and happy to walk them through the stuff online. All ages.
Yeah,
I've been
but we
talking on the
still
phone with
can't
them.
refuse people a paper receipt if they want one.
In the office, they can come in and get one to mail it back. No, we don't have to do that. Per MTA, that is not required.
If they put a self-addressed stamp envelope in the thing, we're not gonna send them back a receipt.
we have.
Yeah, we've discussed this.
Okay, well, I thought you just said you weren't gonna do that.
I just said we weren't. I said we weren't.
Okay, well, why aren't we? Cause everybody deserves a receipt if they pay their
We're
taxes.
gonna encourage them
Their
to
check
use.
is a
Yes,
receipt.
but if someone puts a self-addressed stamped envelope in their tax
Yeah.
payment, they should get a receipt back.
And we have.
It's not required. It's not required that we do that. And we're trying to encourage people to use the online system where they can look it up themselves and print it.
Yeah,
And
I
everybody I've
appreciate
spoken to does it. And then we offer 4 days a year in the office where they can come in and get a receipt personally in the office. So there's still ways for them to get receipts.
Yeah, but a self-addressed stamped envelope, and that's like
It's
about
because
as
it's
easy
on
as
the
it
tax
gets.
thing. If they take it off the tax thing when it goes out to send that, people won't know to do it, they just won't do it.
I agree with you, Jim. If you send that, you should get a receipt.
I agree.
It's all, okay,
The
that's
check is
good.
their receipt.
Well, I know
But-
it is, but at the
That's
same
not the
time,
same thing. You get
At
a
the
thing
same
from the
time.
township that says you owe zero, and that's what you want.
some people want both.
You wanna
But
go
they
to the
can
bank and get a
also-
loan or something?
They get the
you
same
tax-
receipt online.
But they can also go on.
They get the same exact receipt online.
Right, but
Yes.
a lot of people still are not internet savvy, believe it or not.
Are we getting back to the budget?
Yes.
We still have $27,416 that we have to shave,
Okay. I would say
unless we add
the zoning thing that we just talked about,
Yeah,
current balance.
20,
if we make that 20,
yeah,
and I'm not saying that isn't something that we can't still further discuss and amend in the future if we need to. But that will get us 6,000 or 4,000 closer.
Is that, you did the math on that, is that
well,
20 hours a week?
well, here's the
$500 a
thing,
week, 20 bucks.
there's no 20 hours a week for January, February, and probably March. The rest of the year, maybe, okay?
He still has to come in and check his emails.
I know,
and
I understand all
answer the
that,
phone.
I know that this could get done for less than 20. If we make it at 20, it should work, and I think 20 is giving it, hold on, I hope 20, I think 20 gives it a cushion. Alright, you also gotta take into consideration, if we're providing a township vehicle. The gas, the insurance, the maintenance on that, and there's a lot for zoning that goes above and beyond this 20,000.
So
So-
if he gets 20 hours a week at $25 an hour, it is $26,000.
Yeah, but I just got done saying also, you're not gonna need 20 hours a week in the slow parts, it's hardly, there's 2 permits. You know, last time he, provided a report. It's the slow time of the year, things are frozen. You don't need to pay 2,000 a month every month.
Winter's about 4 months, 3 months, maybe 4 months
We're
probably.
in Michigan.
I just asked John how much he gets on average per week, how many hours? He said about 20.
Yeah.
Well,
20
that's
times
fine.
what he gets now,
Mhm.
26,000.
Well, 20 times 25 is 500, isn't it?
multiplied by 52
Yeah.
weeks a year.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, he's got a $25 an hour, wage.
Mhm.
All right, so if it goes over 20, he's still gonna get paid, but I don't think it'll go over.
Right, right, and we'll amend as we need. I mean, all these are gonna be off from where they're at exactly, you know, so.
I think when you go to a system of odometer readings and, different things about phone calls and to justify what he's billing for
Mhm.
more accurately.
Mhm.
I believe we'll be under 20,000.
So what about utilities? Because we did talk in the general board meeting about a vampire that we have at one of the parks that sucks up a lot of electricity, like $473 a month.
Yes. That,
Did you do the whole thing?
Did we get that taken care of? Is that included in that $50,000?
well, I would think if that is what they're gonna charge us, we should just remove it.
I agree. That's a lot.
'Cause that's just not, that's wasted money.
Are we changing zoning wages?
Oh, well, yes, and then we'll amend as needed if we need to. Or if he doesn't go over 20 hours a week, we'll have him covered.
So that would save us getting rid of that sign, $5,676 a year.
Have you figured that out, Jim, what the high cost was?
No, I haven't yet, but
But I mean, that's a low hanging fruit,
Yes.
like we could,
There's,
we can that.
yeah, we can get rid of it.
there's something involved there where you get charged a certain amount at the install.
Yes, it's
And then it goes down to what it actually costs.
unmetered rate and.
Do the kids still play ball there?
No,
No, youth T-ball, cause I was
Free.
gonna say, if you have youth T-ball coming in, then, and they want a sign to let people know that they pay for
Mhm.
it, you know?
If you get a good one, you could actually rent the sign.
True,
This one is not a good one. It's 4 years old and they just put it out last year.
Yeah, I say they would get rid of it.
And it's all red and green.
Yeah.
That's all the
There's
only
just two
color.
colors on the bulb, red and green, that's
So,
it.
so we're gonna get rid of that, that's $5,676 out of that 50,000.
80,000 was a utility, wasn't it?
I'm looking at, utilities,
Yes,
50,000,
50,000, yeah.
Okay,
so that would say
Utilities.
it's gotta be a different.
Oh, okay, it's the first one.
First page?
Yeah, so that would bring that to 45,000.
45,000.
Yep,
Okay, and then when we were on the zoning, that's at 30,000 now, right?
20.
No, I mean the total for that, total planning and zoning, 30,000?
Yeah,
Okay,
that brings us down to 565,975.
and now what were we,
The 9,000 we got, yeah.
what are we looking at attorney fees? What do we have big coming up as far as attorney stuff, the hospital, and we're splitting that with other townships?
That is
That's like.
not our
gonna be
township lawyer, that's
yeah,
like an
it's not
additional lawyer. that we-
Yeah, but that's gonna be like our biggest expense is figuring out about where that millage, or is there other things hanging out with
As
our,
far as that-
Cemetery.
That should be okay.
what's that, Dee?
Cemetery.
Cemetery? The
Yeah, 'cause
attorney?
we have a lot of plots and lots that have dead owners.
Yeah,
Yeah, I hope that we don't exceed that 20,000 that we have there for attorney,
I don't see why.
but we could lower that a little bit.
I would say if we took it to about 18.
I already reduced the attorney quite a lot, I don't know.
From 25,
Yeah,
but then again, we had quite a few things.
Yes,
a
we
lawsuit,
had, we had a lawsuit and stuff there where we referred to them.
and their rates aren't going down?
No,
So if we went to 18 and we put something implemented that that the board would have to approve,
Mhm.
actually, technically, we do not use the attorney as much as we should. Every contract should go to the attorney before the board votes on it.
then we should not.
We don't do that. We
Yeah,
have
well,
not.
I was gonna,
They did do a lot of work on the short-term rental ordinance. That was a lot of the cost last year.
And that still isn't settled.
Right.
What are we trying to get to right now? Like what, how much more? do
We're
we need?
still
9,000.
18,000 now.
I'm thinking we could take
18,500,
it
that's
down
what I came up
to,
with.
take it down to 18, and maybe before we
Sure,
reach out to the lawyer, let's have the board approve.
again,
That-
we can amend it as we need it, if we
Yeah.
do need it, and,
18.
I don't know where the
Yeah.
money will
for
come
the
from,
attorney.
if you need more, but we can change that to 18, that's fine. I really don't like this contract services, $80,000. I know we already shaved 5 off of that.
We can-
We don't, you think we can get by with 70 instead of 75 on that?
We're at 80
Well, no, we shaved $5,000 off of that,
to 75.
yeah.
Do,
But
Do we
didn't
have a
Christine-
breakdown
wait a
of
minute,
what the
Christine said
contract
72, we're at 72 on that already.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All right, so maybe.
Yeah, but you have BSNA coming up that added, what is it, 9,000 a year or something?
12,000.
Well,
Well, what about like hall rental, you know, and gym rental?
so that'd be increase our revenue,
Let's increase those, I mean, we're paying to have these things, these places maintained, we're paying people to do that, we're charging ultra low rates.
hey, we don't have any rentals on here.
On the income, yeah.
No, I don't see it, where are you?
Community center. Town hall.
Okay. So that's $6,000 between both. I think we should promote that and try to get more.
You're,
I'm promoting the.
Yeah, just.
that would be a good place to go. Money that comes in.
So what were we doing with the contracts? We were gonna somewhere try to shave off about $8,000.
With contract services? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what I thought, that somebody said
We
72,000.
were talking about that, but then we switched over to
Town hall rental.
town hall rental, increasing that, but.
We're looking to, you know, close the gap by increasing our rental fees.
We have a lot that goes into contracts.
Yeah.
That's lumped in
I
there.
tell you what, that contracts are.
From 80 to 75, is that?
Mhm. If we went all the way to 70 and really shave that Centaurus one down, 'cause Centaurus is like a huge amount. It's like $1,500 every month.
53 a month.
And
Yeah.
that's why I said, don't use them for any repairs.
Yes, they did, well, they had to do our mailbox,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
my inbox, they
I
had to
think
do
that
it.
wasn't set up correctly.
I don't
They
think it
had to
was set
call
up.
me and have me reset your password. They charged us for.
And do you know
me
why?
resetting your
Because
password.
you're the administrator under the Gmail, they're the administrator under the Microsoft
Yeah.
inbox.
Let's lower it to 70 and I'm gonna light a fire under those guys.
Can we,
Oh, when's the contract up?
not soon enough?
Not seen enough.
I wonder if they would
Did you
allow
guys-
us to pay over time.
No, we're being mean.
Jim, where did you guys get $12,000 for interest income?
I can't answer that. It's probably,
Between the Michigan class and the banks. I think that's where that number came from.
I don't think we're that high. Because you can take Metro and Peg, I think. Interest, I don't know, that'd be interesting to know.
well, here's another thing too, okay, and I have to do some research on this, but we're gonna get a sizable payment from the hospital when it converts. And I'm not sure if we have to keep that interest with whatever we get with that one. It's one I've got to
No.
research. Maybe that lawyer we're paying can decide.
From
that.
what I understand, you only have to keep the interest. Well, I don't know, because you're right, because that's coming back because taxpayers paid that money in, so.
The capital improvement millage.
Yeah.
So
I mean, because
don't
if it's not a designated fund like road fund, you don't have to designate the interest, but
It
that
would
might be-
designated, and it would have to
Yep.
be something, it would be in a account that's gonna sit there until we put something on the ballot to spend it.
that'd be a good Michigan class income
Yeah.
interest.
Yes, so I'm thinking that 12.6 for interest is probably okay where it's at.
I'd hate to overdo it, not get it.
Yeah, it'll probably be more than that, but again, I don't know if we can keep the interest or if it has to stay with the fund.
Did we go?
Cause we
on
don't
that?
have the ARPA fund anymore, and the ARPA fund was a lot of that interest last year.
I mean, did we already go past township rental and community, center rental? Because those, I mean, look at like, 2023 and 24.
Mhm.
Town hall rental, 9,200, how, why is it $5,000? It's like cut in half.
Mhm.
Why is our,
I think it was, puffed up a little bit in 23, 24, because I don't honestly think that was how much it was.
Well,
Rentals,
oh,
it could be the actual number, I guess.
so how much is it to rent this
23, 24 is
15
the
bucks an
actual.
hour?
Yeah, it's like a 180 for the whole
And
day.
when you think about it, it's usually a group of people, if they all put in $5 or $2
I
each,
agree.
they're gonna
I
cover,
agree.
I mean, why can't we make it double?
Why don't we do this? Why don't we say we're gonna make a minimum of a 25% increase on all of our rentals?
At least,
Okay, so if we took, right now, we only have 6,000 in rentals,
for which one?
both, that's added.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
This
if
should be
we,
25.
So
Easy.
that's more than a quarter.
Huh?
That's more than a quarter, isn't it?
more than 25%
Oh, okay.
this year we've got 5693 in town hall rentals.
so far.
Mhm.
And
Well,
I've
let's
got
do this,
another
let's bump it
town
to
at
8.
140.
Make it 30%.
Still have to get me the.
Yeah, and we'll have that discussion.
You want to
Okay.
increase town hall rental to what,
Let's make it 8,
8?
and, we'll just have to do that before the end of the year, get our raises going.
Joanne, you had to start.
Or bump up the community center to 1,500?
What'd you say?
You'll have to start promoting.
I was just saying that
House
we,
rental.
I have promoted.
yeah, that'd be fine, do 1,500 for the, community center, man, we should at least do that, geez.
Yeah,
1,500,
Oh my goodness, that might work.
1,500 there, and then the other one is 8,000.
And it's usually less if you're a township tax.
So we got 1,500 on community center, and we have 8,000 on town hall, correct?
yeah, I don't know if we can go through.
So close, but not quite. 550, oops.
We can do it and then amend as we need, because
550.
Well,
it's not gonna be that far off.
I'm just making sure, I thought that's what you came up with.
We're
I
still
thought-
about
I was thinking-
We do have that extra money that, the
$8,000
gymnast is
more.
paying for storage.
Yeah,
Were you-
that's
Were you just talking to me?
240 a month
No,
or a year.
Oh.
$20 a
Yeah,
month,
that's
so
not-
$240 a year.
$240.
It's
It's something.
$200.
Yeah,
Low hanging fruit.
and cemetery.
Cemetery will go up a little too.
Oh my
yeah.
God, what are we charging? And you get 4 plots?
Hey,
People are
we got a
coming from
family
state
one
right
that's in
now.
there.
well, we
that's
don't have a
got
whole lot of
one
lots,
person
yeah,
out
left
there.
over until we do the whole deal with
Mhm.
trying to get those lots back.
Mhm.
But
Why,
yes, we do need to raise that
yeah,
price.
why don't we go 2,500 right now, just to add another 1,000?
Alright.
For cemetery?
Cemetery, go to 2,500.
That's even lower, but yeah, let's do
Yeah,
it.
I think it's low too, but
Okay.
so
What did that gave us 1,000, so that's 6916 we still need.
And then we're raising
That'll,
rentals
that'll
by
break
a
us even.
1/4%.
Actually, we just raised the community center to 1,500 and the town hall to 8,000,
So
so that was.
at
35.
the next
And
meeting, we'll
cemetery
have to
lots,
vote,
2,500.
Yes.
at the next meeting, we'll have to vote to increase the rate on all 3 of those.
Mhm.
Just
Okay,
make sure that's on the agenda.
good.
And cemetery. fees.
Yeah, cemetery and rentals.
We should probably just dedicate a whole meeting to that as far as our,
And we put in the $5,200 for the fire department. We put the additional money in that we decided on Parks and Rec and roads.
Yeah, they're all in there.
I do feel like that fire department admin fee is a little high. I know it's $100 a month.
One thing that you did take off of there, that you said it's not revenue, but you have the expense for payroll taxes. and you don't have the reimbursement for fire department payroll taxes. And that was $6,000.
That's not income.
I know it's not income, but it is, it
Let's
has to
stay on
offset the
paper.
expense for the budget. It has to offset the expense for the budget.
So where would that be at?
It's not on there right now. We'd have to add it.
We
Under
took it off
reimbursements
for-
with elections, you could add a line for reimbursements for,
We have, I see. Well, doesn't that take some money out of the admin fee then?
no,
No, the admin fees for taxes, okay.
yeah.
We don't have any other admin fees other than for parks, roads and fire, correct?
No, that's right. If it's a line item and it's not, if it's a line item coming out of payroll, then yes, it has to be reimbursed somewhere. So if it's coming from the fire department, if it's a line item on your payroll in your general fund, then yes, you need to show that as reimbursement.
Township.
It's not a revenue.
Expenses, social security and Medicare.
Yeah, it's not a revenue. It is definitely a reimbursement, but if it's coming out as payroll, then yes, you have to reimburse it.
So if I put that under reimbursements, that brings our total, estimated revenue, which is, I know it's not total revenue, but 558,059. And our bottom line is 558,975. Oh my gosh.
So 1,000 away?
Yeah, not quite a
How, what
thousand.
is the RM building and
Our-
building and grounds that we're paying?
Repair, maintenance on buildings.
So $20,000.
Yes,
And do we have any upcoming projects that we're,
the deck out here is falling apart.
Yeah, we need to put a second seal on
But
it.
that's also other repairs. The doors have to be repaired quite often because they don't shut right. You know, we've had to repair the windows for leaking. That's what that $20,000 is for. However, I'm looking at,
If we need to scrape
on the
1,000.
clerks, I'm gonna say on the clerk's budget, take off that $1,000 for equipment, because I'm gonna say I don't need any new equipment, and then we're good.
Okay,
Okay. Let's take
So
that down
that'll
to
go to
38.
That was painful.
33.60, over 38.
I gotta tell you,
we
4
did
years,
not
never
have
had,
anything.
we never had this.
I was gonna say that at the end. of
Never
this.
had this.
We never had a discussion.
This is good.
I like that. I like hearing that.
Okay, let me just do them one more time, just to make sure.
Horrible.
558,059 minus.
I can tell by looking at these numbers and everything else.
557,975. We have $84 left. $84 over what we budgeted. That's our contingency, $84.
Okay,
$84 in the contingency.
I had someone ask me about contingency, and I know you're on audio. There you go, $84 for contingency.
That was, yeah, that was me.
Oh my gosh, it was awful.
But I'll still reply by text later.
All right.
However, you know, when you look at that, income and the bottom line on the total income, you still have the PEG fund, the Metro fund, the Public Improvement Fund, you have the capital improvement, and you have the former ARPA. So you have a lot of money, just, we're under the. Thank you,
Okay.
Jesus.
So,
Welcome to adjourn.
well, hang on, just
Oh.
one quick second, okay? And I think I emailed you to everybody, I made all these resolutions for salaries and that. When do you wanna do that? What, next meeting?
Yeah, can we do it? the next
Okay,
meeting?
yeah, okay,
Next regular
so
meeting.
that'll be something for the next. Okay, if any public comment,
Joanne, any public comment?
we have exceeded your 2,000 words.
All
Clearly,
right.
we can't afford a raise.
9:37 PM.
what happens tomorrow? Oh, I know, as far as weather permitting and everything tomorrow, I'll be down there working. At work.
Either my fever broke while I was in the meeting or I got that worked up, sweating it up.
All right, meeting adjourned?
Do we motion or anything
I'll
on
second
the
that.
budget?
Oh, yeah,
No, we don't have to, this is,
oh, that's right.
we
right.
do a.
There's a resolution when we adopt it,
Okay.
which I will prepare that as well.
Okay, I thought I read that in MTA, but I wanted to make sure.
Yes, yeah, they have and actually the public can literally get 10 names on a signature and they can set our salaries if they think we're.
We're not.
over.
Ending the meeting.
I'm gonna send
Have a good
people.
evening.
That.